All right, everybody, welcome to SRTV. We're here in the SoMo Racing League, Lazy Days Race and Xfinity Series for the Daytona 300. I'm up here with Al Smith Jr. How you doing there, buddy?
Doing pretty good. Glad the rain's moved out and we're going to get this show in underneath the lights here tonight, Paul.
Yeah, this ought to be good, man. A lot of guys getting ready to start this season and looking forward to tonight's race, man. Got a good field out here, too. Some nice looking paints.
Yeah, everybody's stepping up their game and looking to start off the season the right way. And they're out there practicing right now. The fastest guy in practice, if you want to go by, is Randy McCaney in that car number 90 and with a 44.908. So these boys are definitely getting it done here tonight at the 2.5 mile Daytona International Speedway, and looking for a good 300-mile race here tonight. The VTFantasyRacing.com 300. And after last night's CNS Hobbies 250, Paul, I would say we're ready to see a good show. Last night's race was really entertaining.
Yeah, they did a great job last night, man. They kept it green for a long time, real hard racing all the way through. It was just amazing to see, man, a full field out there like that starting off. That's the first year Somo's had a full field starting in the truck series. And, man, to see all those cars come down side by side, lap after lap, and just hanging it really tight, definitely was exciting. I missed the race. I was looking forward to kind of racing it this year, but, being up here in the booth, it's not possible. But, man, the excitement was felt in the booth last night.
Yeah, I gained a little bit of a gray hair as I was in the race last night, and the beginning there, we kind of rode in the back, and it was kind of the wrong. I think it was the right uh, idea thing to do, and then we had a couple yellows, but I honestly I thought there would be a lot more. I think we went the first 40, 50 laps without even a yellow right before we were gonna get to the pits. For the green flag pits, we had our first yellow, which was I think a single car or a couple car spin or something like that, Paul. And the guys did a great job. A lot of them back in here tonight for the Lazy Day Xfinity Series season opener here at Daytona, and it's supposed to be a day race. The rains came through, kind of delayed us a little bit, and we're underneath the lights now. Put on one heck of a show for you guys out there watching on SRTV.
Hopefully, a little bit more grip in the cars now that rain's gone and we're underneath lights. Maybe help them out just a little bit, keep the temperatures cool. Might bring a little bit more harder pushing though.
And I think that it might allow for the guys to push a little bit longer than they normally do. They could probably push for about a lap, maybe 2 laps if you really want to tandem it. But then the car that's pushing is going to need to breathe that front end out, get the air out, as the radiators are smaller here on the cars at the super speedways to kind of break up the tandem drafts as we've seen in the years prior. I'm really looking forward to this. Last night we saw a lot of side drafting, guys being able to really kind of hold their own against guys lined up on the inside. And when they were side drafting, it really checked up the inside line. A lot of lifting and braking and to stay off the guys in front of you. So I think it'll be really quite interesting to see how the draft and everything will work here tonight as we get ready to throw the green flag on another season here at the SRL.
Yeah, we were watching last night. We were inside somebody's car going into turn one, and we had a cockpit view on, and you could see and you could hear the checkup. You could see him really having to get out of it and tap that brake a little bit just to keep up from running the guy over in front of him. And I was like, man, you know what that does? That's just the accordion effect. So we were kind of hoping everybody got through it, but there was a couple close calls, and I'll tell you what, man, these guys did a great job getting through some of the lap traffic. This year is a new thing with SoMo with the top 35 because there's so many guys now that are looking to race, and there's not enough pit stalls. So even when you're damaged, you still have to come out and try and get a position or two if you can, because every position is going to count towards next week getting into that race, being in that top 35. So, it changed the dynamic a little bit out on the track there. But, they did a good job. We were talking to a driver earlier, Roger Wagner, and he was saying, last night's race, he didn't even see them coming up on him. And he ducked low to get out of the way. and so did the leader, and the leader ended up going even lower than him to get around. And they managed to get through it, but man, I'll tell you what, it looked pretty rough from up here.
Yeah, that was the one point that I have circled on my notes from last night is the guys that are going to get into trouble early, and hopefully we don't see a lot of guys getting into trouble early. Is this is a very long race, 130 laps in distance here tonight. Is the speed difference? You get the pack that comes by, and if you're not single file, yeah, it's a super speedway and it's wide, but it's not that wide. When you're going 190 and the lap cars that are damaged are coming through and they're, like 160, there's a 30-mile-an-hour difference there. You catch them a lot faster, and we saw last night it caused a pile up with about 20 laps to go. And it wasn't really anybody's fault. The lap car did a great job staying up by the wall. It just the guys on the outside just kind of ran out of real estate and caused an accident. As we see, the track has been closed for the drivers' meeting. So we're getting ready to go with our first green flag laps of the 2017 SRL Lazy Day Xfinity Series here coming up, Paul. And I'm really on the edge of the seat already.
Yeah, this is going to be something. We waited all winter for this to come here, man, and it's finally here. So I know a lot of these guys are ready to get it done tonight. Last week's qualifier was a little bit of a mess. A couple cautions, couple wrecks early on. I think there was a different mindset. Tonight, starts the season. Where you end tonight, man, is where you're going to be in or not in next week. So I got a feeling this is going to be really, really good.
Yeah, definitely. In the top 35 rule is definitely you're going to see some guys that would normally, put it on the trailer after being involved in the big one and not really want to ride around. But being in that 35, that guarantees you a spot. That's a lot less pressure that's going to be on your shoulders when we head to Atlanta, Georgia next week for the Atlanta race. That these guys are not going to have to time trial their way in. They're going to be locked in. They'll be ready to go. Guaranteed starters will be the top 35. And so there's a race within the race. You're going to have the guys racing up front, but then there's also going to be the race to stay in that top 35. And bonus points can definitely come into play. It's really going to be interesting to see how that really ends up playing out throughout the season.
Yeah. Hey, you know what I was thinking? We still got about 5 minutes left before they actually take the field here. Maybe we can see if we can't break into Keith Haney's channel, our last year's champion in the Xfinity series, and just get a quick word in with him if you think we can break into his channel.
See if we can catch up with last year's champion as I take a scroll looking for him. He's definitely he was definitely up front and fast last night, and see if we can find him. Paul is he's getting ready for tonight's race. We'll see if we can find him.
Yeah, see if he'll let us get a break in real quick with him. It'd be nice to get a word with him, see how he feels coming in a nice race, see what he thinks of it, and where he's going to go with this. He was pretty on fire last season, man, and ran away with the championship. Just made it into the chase too. He kind of came in a little bit late in the season, and kind of earned his way up. And one of the guys that was going to be in the chase dropped out. So with all the hard work that he did, we kind of let him come on in, and man, he got it done.
Yeah, he did. He put it definitely hurting on him at the Homestead Miami Speedway for the season finale. He got that track figured out, and the guys that were in there also, Brad Hicks ended up second in the championship, Justin McDuff, who ended up third, and David Howard Jr. So you have those three drivers plus Keith Haney, and that everybody's got targets to be those final four this season. As I am still trying to catch up with the number 87 of Keith Haney.
Yeah, he's kind of hiding on us. I can't imagine him not being in here, but I don't see his channel up. Well, we'll just have to keep an eye on him in the race and see if maybe we can't catch up with him. Hopefully not under a caution, but if a caution does come out, we'll try to make it a point to get a word in with him if he's not involved in it. I don't want to put the whammy on them, but you know, it's Daytona. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen, and most likely will happen, is how I look at it. As we get ready to go with tonight's race, and just about 3 minutes away from the starting grid being populated. And you know, Paul, it was a nice, hot, humid day. The rains came through, washed off a lot of the rubber that the trucks laid down last night, and it is a cool 69 degrees right now. The track temperature is 69 degrees with winds of 4 miles an hour. So it should be a good race and allow for the cars really to grip the track and put on a good show here tonight.
Yeah, it's showing clear skies too, so nothing in the forecast. Shouldn't be any rain-shortened races here tonight.
Definitely not, and so we're looking forward to this, and we could catch up with Brad Hicks. Think he would give us a little rundown as he's looking to get one spot better in the championship this season, and we'll see if we can catch up with Brad here real quick before we get ready to go. And so here we are, Brad Hicks. This is the SRTV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, last season you made it into the Final Four. You had them almost right there. You come up one spot short behind Keith Haney. And this season, looking for a good start. What's it going to take to get out of Daytona with a good, solid finish here tonight?
Well, I'm taking a year off from Xfinity racing this year. It's up for grabs.
Definitely going to be a good one as we watch practice winding down. Anything catching your eye here tonight that we should definitely keep an eye on? We got a large field of cars here, and looking like we're going to put on a good show.
It's just these speedway races to me are just pretty much luck. You know, it's either with you or against you. The cars survive, and they'll be fine.
That is definitely true. So, well, we hate that we're not going to see you out there on the Xfinity Series this season. You had a good season last season, and we thank you for everything you do here at the SRL. And we hope you have a good night and have a good time watching this race.
All right.
That's Brad Hicks there, Paul, and I had him on my list as one of the big contenders. I didn't realize that he has taken the year off of the Xfinity Series, and he will be sadly missed out here on the racetrack.
Yeah, I didn't realize that he wasn't going to be in the race this season. He did a great job last year, but you know, he'd rather just hang out and do some work up in the booth.
So definitely a good thing there to watch. And like he said, it is all about luck. And someone luck is going to be on their side in about 15 seconds as we get ready to go to the VTFantasyRacing.com 300, the lid lifter here at Daytona International Speedway for the Lazy Day Xfinity Series as we get ready to go with our season start as the checker flag comes out on practice. And we'll get you the starting lineup here in a few moments. But, Paul, after watching some of this practice going on and seeing the guys practicing some green flag pit stops, I think they have the mindset of possibly just take it easy, get through a couple pit cycles, and get going.
Yeah, I think you're going to see, I mean, you'll always see a little bit of hard racing because it is racing. But I definitely think that, you know, you'll see some patience here too. There's going to be a lot of guys that want to make it to the end.
Definitely, and as we get the cars up on the grid, we get ready to go with tonight's VTFantasyRacing.com 300, and we'll give you the starting lineup, which was set 1 week ago when we ran our qualifying race here for the Lazy Days Xfinity Series, and on the pole will be the number 51 of Paul Cohen by virtue of his win last week. Then last week's second place finisher starting on his outside on the front row, the 09 Valvoline machine of Keith Mayato. And then it is Chris Samard in car number 77, starting there in your number 3rd spot. Len McNeese with a nice top 5 starting spot, while outside of row number 2. Inside of row number 1, the number 4, of Timothy Lewis and David Howard Jr., one of those drivers in the championship 4 last year, will start 6th. 7th starting spot will go to Ross Cadeau. Kellen Gidman will start 8th. Seth Hatchell, 9th, and John Estes in car number 72 will round out your top 10.
Just give me 1 second here. I had a little problem with the grid starting up. 11th is James Haney. 12th will be Nathan Sedlak. 13th is Ryan Gemmel. 14th is Joe Mitchell. 15th is Dean Viney. 16th is Sean Dorr. 17th is Sean Lejeune. 18th is Jim Locking. 19th is Adam Baker. And Aaron Riley will round out your top 20.
Starting in spot number 21 will be car number 46 of Roger Wagner. Charles Silver will start his outside in 22nd. 23rd starting spot will go to Chris Grosso. Billy Howard will be 24th. Devin Sanders and Stephen Pearson will start 25th and 26th. 27th will be Michael Palmer. Travis Wall, 28th. Jeff Glockner, 29th. And starting 30th on the field, the number 81 of Daniel Haney.
Starting 31st will be Jeff Sharp, and Keith Haney, our last year's champion, will be starting 32nd tonight. 33rd is Bobby Lassiter. 34th is Lupe Gonzalez. 35th, Justin McDuff. 36th, AJ Hamill. 37th, Tony Gray. 38th, Randy McCanney. 39th, Shane Billings. And that will round out the field tonight. There was going to be 43, but there was a little bit of problem getting everybody in. A couple guys couldn't show up, and we were going to have a couple of the go or go home guys come in, but unfortunately they can't. The pace car is in. And we are green here tonight for the start of the season of the Daytona 300, man. Let's go.
Green flag is out, and it will be the 51 of Cohen up to the early race lead as they file down in the turn number 1. Everybody kind of clean and green on the start, trying to feel their way out as they work through turns 1 and 2. Sedlak in the number 35 back there working the high side on the 72 of Estes as they work through turns 1 and 2. But watch out, here comes the 09 of Mayato on the outside with Len McNeese giving him a nice push with an 84. And if you remember 1 week ago, Paul, those guys worked really well together to stay up front.
Yeah, they definitely had it hooked up. I think tonight you're going to see a repeat of that performance. The only thing is I think you'll just see a little bit more patience right now. I think guys want to stay.
We got 130 laps. We'll make it a 129 as they cross the stripe. Lap 1 of the season is going to be led by Mayato and that number 09 as they're back to 2x2, the top 4. And it's really kind of, you're starting to see the field kind of get settled into where they want to run. We got about a pack of 15 cars up front and a couple seconds back to the second pack forming up as these guys trying to get in the line and get up to where they want to play. This is a big game of chess, and it's going to be a long one. 300 miles, Paul. It's a long ways to go and a long ways to get there.
Yeah, and you got to come in with that mindset that you're not going to win it at lap 20 or lap 40. You really need to hang on until you get to about really 5 to go, because even 5 to go is an eternity. You're not going to do anything good if you're damaged along the way.
As you see, the top 7-8 cars work in single file, but we have a car up on the outside trying to get that outside line going with the 71 of Dean Viney as Gamel. He's going to bail out of that pack, not liking what he's seeing. So the Aris 19 Toyota Camry, he's going to go back as we look at the number 12 car of Ross Cadeau and Dean Viney starting to work that outside line. They're the only 2 cars up there. Everybody else kind of single file. Cadeau's going to come in 5th as he just went by the car number 4, Timothy Lewis. So those cars on the outside really starting to make a push for the start, as they all seem to be running single file except for those 2 guys. We got a couple batches of cars up there, and then back in the field kind of just relaxed right now.
Yeah, we seen last night the outside line worked pretty good in the truck series, so hopefully same package tonight where you can get a run on the outside line. We had guys getting up there, formed a good line. I was able to get people out in front. I know, in the Cup Series it's a little bit different. Hopefully that's, they might have that a little bit straightened out this time around. But it'd be nice to see the outside line be able to work and put some pressure on these inside.
We got trouble, Paul. The 51 of Cohen goes around the 77 of Chris Samard hard into the inside wall off of turn number 4. Looks like we're gonna stay green for right now, but that was your pole sitter in trouble early.
Oh, doesn't look like he has too much damage on the car right there. Samard is taking it down the pits. He's got a little bit of rear end damage. That's going to hurt him a little bit. Hopefully, it doesn't take speed off the car, but there's still plenty of time for him to get back out. If he goes down a lap or two, still get back on the lead lap. One thing I'll tell you, it's not over till it's over, man, here.
No, as Cohen gets his car back up to speed, a little bit of front end damage. It looks like the front splitter is a little bit wrinkled on the Space X car. Actually, it doesn't look too bad, Paul, so he might be alright. If he catches a yellow, he can get back into the draft. It was kind of, I didn't catch it, I caught it late. It just got a little bit loose off of turn 4 and kind of just spun down into the inside as your race leaders are starting to get up onto lap traffic. The first car they'll catch it will be the 56 of Sean Lejeune.
And if you look, there's Dean Viney showing his way up there, trying to get that bonus point. You know, every point's going to count this season, so that bonus point he gets for leading laps definitely going to do him some good. And we saw them up in the outside line, you know, a few rows back. Here he is up in the front challenging. Got the lead right now. See if he can hang on to it.
You notice with his dancing partners back there is that Good Sam's number, or the Piggly Wiggly car number 21 of Travis Wall, who was a newcomer last season and showed up with a lot of speed. He started deep tonight in 28th spot, and he's already up to the top 5, working the back bumper of the 71 of Viney.
That's just amazing. You can start that far back and 7 laps be that far up in the front. Looks
so
like
what we had was a nice compact up front. Now they're, let's see here, 6 rows deep of 2, so we got 12 cars up running like pace laps, but all this at 193 miles an hour.
and we got
Aaron Riley involved as everybody's going to come through, and we got cars just piling up in here as they come into the party late. The driver's doing what they needed to do was to hold their brakes, Paul, but some of the track just kind of closed up in tough break for the 33 of Aaron Riley, the AC Delco car number 33, getting into trouble early as our first yellow comes out on lap number 7.
Let's see if I can get back there and see what happened. I'm watching right now. Oh, the 88 kind of got a little bit loose. Looked like maybe came up into the 33. Sent him up into the wall, and the whole pack of cars coming by. And, Aaron did a great job holding on, but the number 8 had nowhere to go. Didn't see him until the guy in front of him moved out of the way, man. Unfortunate tonight.
Got loose there, and the first batch of cars coming through made it through okay, and it was really close for the number 19 of Gamel, but as you said, the 8, the 50, looks like the 51 here is going to make some hard contact, or excuse me, that's Lupe Gonzalez, last year's Cup champion, making hard contact with the 8 of Glockner, so a lot of cars. Keith Haney got into that too also, Paul, down on the grass. Not sure how much damage he's going to have, but a lot of cars involved in this one early here at Daytona.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. We went back to go take a look at it and saw, I believe it was the 8, at least that's what it looked like going by, Seth Hatzel going by, and he managed to get out of the way, but the guy behind him had nowhere to go, and it looked like he didn't see it up, right until he was up on top of him, and really hit Riley hard. I wonder if that's going to put Riley out of the race, or if they're going to be able to do anything with it. But I can't imagine with a hit like that, he'd have anything, to get back out so soon.
Yeah, so the cars definitely, we know that were involved in that first wreck. Was the 88 of Jeff Glockner, Aaron Riley, Lupe Gonzalez, just nowhere to go. Possibly the 90 of Randy McCaney and Chris Samardo. We saw him get into the wall earlier and get some damage, so he might be the lucky dog. So right now we're showing 34 cars on the lead lap right now, Paul, and we working on lap 8, working on lap 9 of this 300-mile race. So just a rough circumstance for the 33 of Aaron Riley.
Yeah, I think something happened with him in the 500 last year. Also, he had I think some connection issues, and ended up ending his night. Electronic stuff. So he was kind of looking forward to get this race underneath his belt. I know he's hoping tomorrow night will be a little bit better for him because in the 500. So man, just a tough break there.
Tough break early going into this one. Your race leader is looks like to be the number 21. Travis Wallace. Pit cycles continue to cycle through. Timothy Lewis is in second. So I'm kind of amazed with that number 21 of Wall from 28th to 1st in 10 laps, Paul.
Yeah, yeah. Now the thing is, can he keep it up there and stay out of trouble? Seemed like last night's race, the leader was able to stay out there for a little bit, but you're just a sitting duck, and guys are all around you. The outside line comes up on, and you only need a little bit of side draft in there to break up that inside line, and your car's good out in that clean air. See how good it is when you get shuffled back a little bit, and we seen that last night with Travis. I know he had a little bit of problems last night. He was talking about also because we seen him just go ahead and drop it down and go to the back of the field, and we know you don't normally just do something like that, but we caught up with him later on an interview, and he told us what was going on.
Yeah, and we got some report from pit road. We have 3 cars that have gone behind the wall and retired so far tonight. Lupe Gonzalez, Randy McCaney, and Jeff Glockner all pulling their cars behind the wall and are retired from tonight's race. So a tough way to start the season for those 3. And we got 120 laps left to go here, Paul, in the VT Fantasy Racing.com 300, and we got to thank those guys for coming on board for tonight's race. As VTFantasyRacing.com provides fantasy NASCAR contests like you've never played before. Choose between the Classic and Pro contests or play both. VTFR Classics only allows you to change your team twice a year, which challenges players to select drivers that will provide excellent finishes over long portions of the season. Perfect for those who don't want to worry about guessing which driver is hot from week to week. VTFR Pro allows changes for those who enjoy the control of setting a lineup for each race. For just $10, you can play one, or for $15, you can play both contests. And Paul, I play in this year, and I came in second last year, and I'm hoping to get one spot better as the field starts doubling up for this restart. So if you're interested in that, sign up at VTFantasyRacing.com. You have to Sunday at 2 o'clock before the Daytona 500 starts to sign up, and it should be a good time and have some fun and a little bit extra bragging right for those that race with us weekly. If they can beat me, I'll pay for their entry fee next year.
And they got a nice website, man. I've been to their website a bunch of times, man. I like their website. They got a good layout.
So I definitely thank them for coming on board, sponsoring our season
Absolutely.
opener here, and get us kicked off in the right direction. We have plenty of races that are open for sponsorship if you're interested in sponsoring the Southern Racing League. SoMo Racing League. Contact Paul, as you hear him here and there. And Paul, how can someone contact you if they're interested in becoming a sponsor here?
They can just go to SoMoRacing@gmail.com. Send me an email, or if you're on iRacing, you can just grab us right from the iRacing page.
Green flag is back out, and we're back on the loud pedal as they head down in through the tri-oval. 21 of Travis Wallace showing the way with Lewis to his outside in that car number 4. A lot of new names, a lot of new numbers out here, Paul, and so far, I think we're doing okay.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, they'll tighten the belts up, take a breath, and go at it again. Probably, it's unfortunate, that little accident that happened there before, but these guys were doing a pretty good job. You'll get a little bit here and there.
As they work side by side down the backstretch, it is the 4 of Lewis with the bumper out front of the 21 of Wall. Both getting a good push. Howard Jr. we saw him kind of hang out in the back last night. He's already up to the front at car number 7. He works the back bumper of Travis Wall as they work off of turn number 4 and through the tri-oval. And a lot of good side-by-side battle action here. We got all over the place as they put one lap up on the board once again. And Lewis kind of getting a push up there on the outside. I believe that's the number 93 of Sean Dower, a rookie this year. So you got 2 rookies working together so far up on the outside. And Travis Wall able to keep them at bay, but it's tight and racy up there right now.
Yeah, these guys are racing like it's 20 to go, man. But you know how it is when the green flag drops. You want to get everything that you can while you can. Definitely doing a good job, though, sticking those first 4 right out. See Dean Viney up in the mix, Len McNeese down in the mix. Some of all the veteran drivers that have been here for a little while. Good to see them up in the front there and making some noise. It's a long way to go, man. And as we see, anything can happen and anything will happen here.
That time by Travis Wall putting another lap up on the board. Sitting second's David Howard Jr., but he's being contested by the 4 of Lewis. Sean Dower and Ross Cadeau are credited with your top 5 right now. Dean Viney sits 6th. Billy Howard sits 7th. Len McNeese, Chris Grosso, and James Haney rounding out your top 10. And I tell you right now, there's a lot of guys that are trying to get up to this front duo, kind of maybe thinking, well, if I'm up front, maybe I'm out of harm's way. And we thought that last night, and it was the case for the most part, but there was a few accidents that started up there. So I don't think you're really ever really safe anywhere you are on this track.
Yeah, this is one of those tracks. No matter where you are, front or back, sometimes there's just nothing you can do about it. You can't avoid it. You just get caught up in it. Best thing you can do is keep your eyes open, concentrate, pay attention, and once you see that smoke up ahead of you, man, just try and look which way they're going and try to make a hole, man, and do your best you can to get around it. It's good we've seen a couple guys that did have some trouble early on locking them down. That's always a plus. Somebody right in front of you when they're locking them down, because the worst thing is when you're looking to go down low and they let the car roll down in front of you. It's definitely not a good feeling.
No, and the drivers did the right thing there, kind of trying to avoid making drivers kind of guess where they were going to go, and just ran out of real estate as 2 cars that are on the move that kind of caught my eye so far and after this restart has been the 25 of Devin Sanders and the 31 of Michael Palmer. Those guys have really hooked up. They were, a ways back, and now they're part of this main group that's working down the backstretch in the turn number 3. As Lewis has taken over the race lead and has dropped it down in front of the 21 of Wall. So this first group of cars here, about 14, 15 cars here, starting to break away from the field, and you got to go back another 5 seconds to get to the 87 and the 20. So Keith Haney and Justin McDuff kind of working together, trying to catch their way up to this beginning of the big pack up front, and then there's another pack behind them, Paul. So kind of getting the separation where guys kind of riding it out in the back, and these guys racing up hard, up front, up hard.
Yeah, and once you get some green flag pit stops on here too, I mean, that's going to change everything again. That'll spread them out, and different packs will get back together again, and you might lose your dancing partner and have to pick somebody else and make a charge in the front. Sometimes you get lucky, you get somebody that you never expected to be with and find out they're a really good leader or a really good pusher, and get you up where you need to be.
Yeah, right now we got a challenge for your race lead as the 93 of Dower's got a nice push from Viney in the car number 71. Those 2 cars kind of holding their own up on the outside, and Dower really working that side draft, trying to pull apart the Wall and the 4 of Lewis, and they have pulled even with them down the backstretch.
Yeah, it's good to see that outside line doing something. It's definitely a good feeling to know you can get up there and try and make your way up to the front. Nothing worse than getting up in that outside line and getting shuffled through.
Dropping back a little bit, back to the 16th position, our defending champion Keith Haney He's got a trunk lid full of the 20 of Justin McDuff. And that group is starting to get it single file and looking to chase down that lead pack. They are almost 8.5 seconds back of the race leaders right now, Paul. So we saw this last night where you could make some, once you get enough cars in there to get the momentum going, you could definitely get going. As we see McDuff really pushing the limit on the back of the bumper, that 87 of Haney. We got a good group of guys there. You got Keith Haney, McDuff, Daniel Haney, Bobby Lassiter, Sean Lejeune, who was almost a lap down earlier on in this race. Paul Cohen, who went for a spin, he got the break that he was looking for in this pack. Jim Locking, the 91 in there. So a lot of good drivers just back here. And as I was talking about them, saying that they were working together, lined up good, then they are all sideways, back to
Sideways
side by
and
side again.
double wide, and here we go.
And let me tell you, it is very nerve-wracking here when they get like this.
Yeah.
As the lead pack is really single filed it out, except for the battle for your race lead. Dower still trying to work that outside over Viney, but yeah, for the most part, everybody's kind of single filed, trying to get into a rhythm. Is they know they have 109 laps left to go.
Yeah, I'm just looking back here at Pearson, Wagner, and Sedlak. That they got it in line. Gidman, Samard, and Baker look like they're all part of that. Further back, just kind of single file. Going to stay together for a little bit and hopefully get caught back up later on when need be. They probably got a good strategy going on right now. Stay out of trouble. No need to really push it that hard. We're only at lap 21, going to lap 22 of 130. So, like I said, coming into the race, man, you have to come in here with the mindset of being here at the end. And even though, the green flag drops and you want to race, it's your instinct just to put the pedal to the floor and get out and race. You have to back off a little bit. You have to know when to kind of, back off just a little bit and let it happen and go with it. That's a real hard lesson to learn. It takes a lot of time to get to that spot where you can actually, give a couple of positions to save yourself for the end of the race,
And just as you said that, Roger Wagner and the 54, I believe, of Mitchell, it made a little bit of contact that cost them, and Wagner's down pit road right now, Paul. So they just, something happened where a little jiving happened, and it looks like the 46 of Wagner getting the worst end of that.
Oh, yeah.
But he was hoping, we talked to him earlier before the start of the race, he was really looking forward to trying to stay out of trouble. Last night didn't go his way, and he was really hoping that tonight would, but enough damage to pull that A&W car number 46 behind the wall. And Wagner's going to be a retiree out of the VTFantasyRacing.com 100 or 300.
Yeah, probably not the way you want to end it tonight, and hopefully not a sign for tomorrow night's 500. And we still got a tough battle going on out front, though, between Dorr and Lewis. Right now, Sean is out front with Dean Viney all over the back bumper trying to get him out there. I know they would like to get in front and both of them drop down, but that inside line just comes back with a force right there.
And you notice that the 71 starting to peek his nose out through the corner. He's got to start getting hot there. The temperature is going to be up a little bit, and going to have to peeking that out a little bit more to let it breathe so it doesn't get too hot. Because once these cars are out of water, Paul, it's just a matter of time before they grenade.
Yeah, we've seen that last night. A couple of trucks lose it with no damage, and we figured it had to be temperature because they were doing some real hard pushing before they let go. I'm going to jump inside of Len McNeese's car and take you around the track here and let you see what it looks like from his perspective. Holding a nice steady line. A little bit of rubber built up on the windshield, but not too bad right now. You see the banking inside the car, though. Definitely a nice high bank track. Across the start finish line and back into turn one. That's a good thing to see, man. Inside the car, nice and steady, nice and smooth. You hear that engine just kind of chugging along. No issues on it right now. It's all you can ask for.
Yeah, and you lost a little bit of time there, where, as you saw down the backstretch. I believe it is. Let's see here. James Haney or Jeff Sharp kind of pulled down in front of him, and Len had to just check up just a little bit, and he kind of lost. But he's starting to get sucked back up here, and a guy that was a major player in last night's truck race before some netcode, the 18 Slim Jim car of AJ Hamill's one car goes for a slide into the inside wall. I believe that was the 55
Of James Haney, yes, sir.
James Haney. Heavy smoke coming from the Snap and Toyota as he pulls to a stop and tows it. We are going to stay green, but tough break for that driver in car number 55. James Haney kind of just clipped the apron, Paul, and it's really easy to do to get there and have that happen. And a tough break for that driver who comes into tonight looking for a good start.
Yeah, that apron's not a friend of yours, especially once you start lightening the fuel load in the cars. You get a little bit of rubber on the tires and rubber off the tires. You hit that apron, man, and it just takes you for a ride. It's really hard to hang on to, especially in these tight conditions. But we were just looking at AJ Hamill. Started 36 all the way up to 8th. Got that Slim Jim car going good, man.
Yeah, he was. I talked to them a little bit before the start of the race tonight, and the whole team, the 18, the 20, and the 11, were all there like, oh, we're going to ride in the back and kind of ride it out for a little bit. And here we are, not even a quarter of the way through this event, and we have Hamill up there battling inside the top 10 in that Slim Jim car. And a little bit of history on that. His uncle used to work on the Slim Jim car back in the Busch Grand National days. And I know he's going to be watching here tonight, so we want to send a nice shout out and thank you for watching us here on the SRTV. But it's a little bit of a reason behind the 18 running the Slim Jim car. It's a little bit of a family tie as he looks underneath the 71 of Dean Viney. So Viney a little bit off the pace, wondering if he got the car a little bit too hot or if he had to check up for something.
Yeah, he was pushing it pretty aggressive. Might have got the temperatures up there a little bit, or maybe decided he wants to back it off a little bit. I know he does a lot of riding with Len McNeese. The two of them together, even in the Cadillac race that we did. I mean, they started in Talladega all the way in the back, stayed in the back the whole race, and the both of them got hooked up together, drove the race together, and Dean Viney won that race. And I believe Len McNeese was second or third coming across the line. So you got to watch him and McNeese. If they get together sometime in the course of this race, they're definitely a good plate track team to be reckoned with. As long as they can keep it clean and stay out of trouble, I guarantee you they'll be up in the front at the end of this one.
Yeah, we saw definitely Len McNeese for that Western Auto parts number 84. Was a good pusher last week for the 09 of Keith Mayato. And he did a really good job in pushing that 09, and he started on the outside of the front row, Mayato, thanks to the number 84, McNeese, with the pushing there. So it's really, those two will work good together once they get hooked back up, as we have a change for your race lead. Dower, rookie sensation so far in the SRL this season, is out front and leading the way around Travis Wall in that number 21.
And we got somebody going down.
Howard's going for a slide and hard into the inside wall.
Looks like he's still got it running. A little bit of damage on there. Might be able to get it in, get some of it fixed, and work his way back up.
That's a tough break for one of the top front runners so far here this evening. The number 7 of David Howard Jr. in trouble earlier with that Butler as the engine just expires on the 7. He's going to try to coast it back to pit road, and looks like a side draft just gone wrong a little bit, Paul.
Yeah, and as we saw too last night, the side drafting was going pretty good. A little bit of net coating too, so I wonder if that had anything to do with it tonight. Let's take a look here at Michael Palmer. Michael Palmer started 27th, moved up to 11th right now, get behind Dean Viney. There are another two that can get together and make some noise. You see Dean Viney, look who he's right behind. I told you to watch out for those two because he's right behind Len McNeese. They found
Right
their...
there, you look at the top 5 cars, Paul. The only one that started inside the top 5 was the car number 4 of Timothy Lewis, who started 5th. The leader started 16th. Third place car started 28th. It looks like trouble for your race leader, 93 at Dower.
Yeah, we just got on him. He looked like he caught a piece of the apron, got the car a little bit sideways, and managed to save it though and back out on the track. Cost him a little bit of spots, pushed him back a little, but worst case he can probably catch up with that second pack if he can't get back up to this pack. But he did a great job of saving it. He was pretty sideways there.
Yeah, it's going to put him back to 13th on the running order with a long ways to go, just under 100 laps to go now in the VTFantasyRacing.com 300. And I was saying the top 5, you got a guy that started 5th leading the race, 24th starting spot for the guy running in 2nd, 3rd starting spot started 36th, 23rd starting spot for the guy in 4th of Chris Grosso, and Travis Wall started 28th. And then you look there, you got Jeff Sharp in the car number 49, another rookie this season in the SRL. He's up to 6th starting spot, starting 31st. Devin Sanders in car number 25 started 25th. And then you got Len McNeese that started up there. And how about Shane Billings, one of those guys that were the bubble drivers that got in after some guys withdrew after last week's qualifying race, up to 11th after starting 39th.
Yeah, having a real good run here tonight. Good driver, just new to the league, and he wasn't here last season, so he wasn't locked into the top 35. So they had to qualify their way in, and there was a lot of guys that were qualifying in to go or go home. So only missed it by a couple of tenths, but the way they did it was whoever didn't show up for the race, they were taken next in line. And we had some disqualifications after the qualifier last week. So him and Randy McKinney were able to get their way in, because they were the next two in line.
And not to interrupt you there, but we have a new race leader. How about the driver that started 36? We were just talking about him a few laps ago, A.J. Hamill. They call him the Green Mountain Madman. Out of Vermont. He's up to your race lead after starting 36 in that Slim Jim car, and he's looking to snap into a Slim Jim in victory lane here later on, but he's got a long ways to go. But he's did a very nice job working his way up through the field so far, Paul.
Yeah, he's definitely got that car tuned in really good. If he can just keep Timothy Lewis there on his back bumper, to both of them stay together, they can keep it out there pretty good.
You saw Lewis kind of think about going to the outside, but Billy Howard was right there. Now Howard, the man who stuck out there to dry, as the 21 of Wall will go back by. And here comes the 42 of Grosso. So the names that you're used to hearing up front are starting to get up there as the field kind of singles out, as Howard is going to be the guy on the outside. He's going to go about from 3rd back to 13th spot once this is all said and done, unless he gets some help up there.
Yeah, that outside line, when you're alone like that, there's nothing you can do except try to find a hole to duck it back in. That's a tough spot to be alone.
And like you said earlier, that Sean Dower in car number 93 that caught the apron was leading up front early. He's already 8 seconds back. He's going to get sucked up into the second group of cars back there, which is being led by Sean Lejeune and Keith Haney. and he'll be able to catch the draft there, but they are 11 seconds back
And we
behind.
got 3 wide back here with the 94 to 48 and the 19. They just got it settled. Sorry to interrupt you there, but man, it got a little shaky there. Didn't look like they were all going to get through it.
And I think their spotters the reason that we're seeing it so dicey is I think they know the leaders are coming. I mean, you got the leaders, which are about a half a straightaway behind them. So these guys really got to step on the loud pedal and get up, try to put some distance between themselves and the leader at the moment, or they're going to go down a lap at Daytona.
Yeah, side by side too doesn't help. It's kind of hard to organize the line, get everybody to get nose to tail. You'll definitely pick up a lot more time than fighting each other. But it's a race. It's hard. It's hard to get in there and get that mindset, like I said earlier.
Yeah, right now the last car in that group, the 72 of John Estes, he's about 5 seconds in front of the race leader of AJ Hamill. And these guys really got to get organized. They're going to go down a lap early in the VTFantasyRacing.com 300.
I like Estes' car. He's got the old NBC. Got a nice color scheme on there. It's a pretty sharp looking car.
A lot of good cars back here at 77 of Chris Samard, who got into a little bit of an accident early when the 51 of Cohen went for a spin. He kind of checked up and kind of went for a spin himself at the same time. Was lucky to catch that yellow, but now this group back here is really going to have to get into hit the gas pedal pretty hard if they want to stay on the lead lap.
And you see Baker getting up there in the back of Gamel and trying to get him a little bit forward, but the 94 has got a nice little run coming on the bottom there, Galen Gidman.
And these guys are starting to form it up a little bit. They've taken a little bit of time and added it to the distance between them and the leader. So these guys, they can stay hooked up and run single file and kind of pull away. They'll be able to stay okay. They are about halfway on a fuel run right now, Paul. So
and we have a challenge. We have a challenge for the lead right now. Looks like Travis Wall does kind of get the advantage going in. See if the 18 can overtake him here. Looks like he's gaining on him pretty good. That inside line's got a nice run going through that turn. See if he can beat him.
The 18 of Hamill got a nice push by Lewis in the turn number 3, but kind of gapped himself from the 4 of Lewis. That allowed Wall to get back to his outside.
He does get scored for that lap, Hamill.
Yeah, barely, 0.002. So I have a feeling we could see a photo finish like this as the race goes on, as we are working. These guys are clicking the laps off pretty quickly.
Hamill's got 7 laps led right now. Got a challenge again for the lead, and Wall does bring it down in front of him.
Now leaves Howard once again on the outside, so Howard finally got some help up on the outside. Here comes Hamill back to the outside in front of Howard to see if they can get that outside line to do something. And it'll be Wall with the credited for the lap lead, but we saw this last night, and Hamill is very good at the side draft. And we saw it last night, and they were able to do it very well for up front. And he's like a surgeon up there. He's able to cut and use the air and everything like that to get around. And he's got Howard up there right behind him in that 0-7. And those two are working well together so far early on in this race.
Yeah, that was a bold move, man, but really, really smart move to get up there when he could, because we did see that last night with Joe Owen. He opened the door on the bottom and let somebody in. Oh, but now Hamill gets hung out by Howard, so this could change. He might have to try to duck in before that hole closes up and just be satisfied with 4th for right now.
I was going to say, when he's going to clear there, get back in line, is that single file. And not too far, your race leader of Travis Wall can see out the front windshield, can see that pack that we were just on earlier with Baker and them right out the front windshield. So they are catching them in a hurry.
We're inside his car right now taking a look. You can see them in the turn already. It's going to be interesting when they do catch him. When they do catch them, though. I don't know if that's going to be good or bad. You know, might stack everybody up. Might be a lot of confusion about which way to go, or will they all just join together and run as one big pack with them in front of the leaders? Going to be interesting to see how it unfolds here.
It'll be interesting because it's not like they're that much slower. It's just the lead pack is more organized and not really racing each other. But now that pack in front of them is all single file as well, so they're about even right now. So it's just a matter of how much energy someone has and if they're able to close in on them. And as soon as they can start sniffing that draft of that back pack, these leaders are going to be all over them.
Yeah, it's got to be. You know, they probably see the leaders coming. They probably got word that the leaders are coming. They need to do something, organize it a little bit, try and get some distance between them. Let's see if we can't take a look out the back of Michael Palmer's car and see if he got a terrible view here. Wanted to see if we can get a glimpse of them, you know, from his car, but awful view there, so we'll skip that. Back up a little bit towards the front, we've got Len McNeese and Dean Viney still hanging side, you know, front nose to tail to each other. Like I said earlier, those guys are pretty sneaky here. Should be coming up on pits pretty soon. I'm not exactly sure what the fuel run is tonight. I'm probably imagining somewhere around 40 laps, maybe.
Just checking in with our viewers right now, and glad to see we got some viewers on there, Paul. I see Old Schools Motorsports looking for a shout out, so we'll give them a shout out as they are looking on, rooting on their drivers in tonight's field as they work lap number 47, looking to put 48 up on the board. And that gap between the front pack and the pack in front of them, the leaders and the back markers are starting to close just a little bit more. And I think it's going to be very...
Oh, and Howard's going around.
That looks like the 07 of Billy Howard. Hard inside wall. Looks like we are staying green so far.
He's got the car turned back around and running, so a little bit of damage might be a repair and get back out here.
We got a three wide down the backstretch, Paul, as the 18 of Hamill's going to get put in the sucker hole. Lewis backs out of it and gets right back to the back bumper, the 18 of Hamill. But that was almost a three-wide situation up front here, as we've not seen those kind of moves yet out of anybody that's been up in the front pack here.
Yeah, you know, each lap that goes by, the intensity level is going to kick up just a little bit. Hamill's doing a good job here tonight. Got it back out front. Got them single file right now. Doesn't have any company on the outside to really worry about. Jump inside with Timothy Lewis. All over the back of A.J. Hamill.
All over pushing that Slim Jim
and
car around there. So far, those two have really worked well together as they've worked around the speedway in that Butler Furniture car for Timothy Lewis as he works around the speedway. And as you look back through the field, that these guys are all really single file. So starting to wonder if handling is starting to become a factor in this. And yeah,
it's got to be.
Some of these guys starting to do that, you know.
It's got to be, you know, the fuel load's getting lighter, rubber's getting down on the track, tires are wearing out a little bit. You know, intensity levels kicking up just a little bit. You know, the cars are probably starting to get a little bit more free. You know, you're really gonna have to. When you first came out here, you could just keep your foot to the floor and go around. I think now guys are going to have to start just kind of burping it through the turns a little bit to try to keep it from coming around and I think that's a big, a big thing that we're going to be seeing here for till we make these green flag pit stops coming up.
And we got some activity getting ready to happen on pit roads. Drivers starting to call themselves. So we're lap 51 working down the backstretch. Your race leader already calling that he's coming down pit road. Now this can be really tricky, Paul. If you don't get on hard enough, someone else charges behind you a little bit more. It really causes havoc as your race leaders are going to come down pit road, and most of the guys in front of them as well. So we got to see if there's going to be a lot of traffic as the 4 of Lewis, as one car locks him up. Grosso, we're locking them up. Everybody trying to get down to that 50 mile an hour pit road speed, and everybody did a really nice job doing so as Hamill hits his pit stall. Overshot it actually. So your race leader issues on pit road for the 18 of AJ Hamill as he gets in his box. So this is really going to just let everybody up. I expect everybody taking 4 tires and filling it up with Sunoco race fuel as they get going. As Hamill's jack drops, he's off, but he's going to lose some time. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens once everything cycles out.
Yeah, that was kind of, when you're coming in there, you got guys low, high, middle. Some guys come in really hot and they don't get a chance to lock it down, and, they can just run you over and take you out with it. A lot of guys came in, a lot of guys went out. Seemed like they did pretty good. We'll have to see if anybody gets called back in for speeding. We have a new leader out here, Len McNeese, and look who's following him back in the bird seat.
One car had issues. Looked like the 21 of Travis Wall had issues. We got our spinner on the backstretch. The 09 of Keith Maeto in trouble. 21 of Wallspun coming off of pit road as well. He gets his car back in the shape, but it was a 09 of Keith Maeto that really had some issues coming off of turn number 2 there, Paul. And your race leader is Dean Len McNeese, the 84, who I believe is on coming to pit road
right now. Yep. I can't believe they managed to save it and keep it green.
Yes, you talked about these two earlier coming down pit road. Now the
caution is out
on the speedway. See where it's at. Looks like it might have been the 55 of James Haney potentially here. Let's take a look.
Yeah, it looks like he has a little bit of damage, a little more damage. He's slowed down quite a bit.
And big news right now, electrical issues on the 21 of Wall, who is going to be exiting the track, Paul. So one of the guys that were up front early in trouble now is going to pull it behind the wall.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. He had a lot of issues, electrical problems last night also in the truck series. They managed to get it fixed up and, keep him out there, but, definitely hurt him quite a bit. It's just tough luck. It's too bad, but it's Daytona. It's only race 1. They got a full season here, 34 races. So, he'll have plenty of time to come back out next week in Atlanta and get himself a good finish and, secure himself in the top 35 and go from there.
Yeah, taking a look right now at the cars involved. The 55 of Viney or of Haney under power a little bit, and the 93 of Dower just closed up on him way too fast. Had nowhere to go, barely clipped him. But another car that got involved was the 51 of Paul Cohen. So your pole sitter in that SpaceX car number 51 also having some issues as well. But everybody really did a good job making that not bigger than what it really was.
Yeah, definitely a good job getting through there. That could have been really bad. That could end a lot of guys' nights tonight.
So the field really starting to get back together, and I think that's gonna, who that really worked out well for was Len McNeese, and he's gonna be your race leader. I think right now but it'll be interesting to see how many cars are going to end up getting the wave around here, Paul. Because we did make it through pretty much the full green flag stops, and it was Len McNeese and Dean Viney, the last cars on to come down pit road. And we're looking at right now a lot of wave arounds happening, and it looks like Ross Cato is going to be your race leader with Chris Grosso in second, Timothy Lewis in third, Shane Billings in car number 76. I know he's had a fan. And just to mention on the broadcast right now, David Howard Jr. has made it back to the motorhome, and he says we're doing a good job, and it sucks that he has to be watching it. And I do agree with you, Howard. Tough way to start off the season for that driver.
Yeah. Not a good night, but like I say, it's Daytona. It's only race one. He's a good driver. He can come back next week and get into the race and get himself a little bit closer underneath that 35 and move from there. So you look forward to this race all season. It's not the way you want to end it, but there's not really much you can do about it, man. Daytona's its own beast. It doesn't even have to be your fault. It's just timing. Wrong place, wrong time. Right place, right time here.
And right now, the field really just trying to get caught up in where they're supposed to be. So, not really sure who the leader is. What's really going on right now is a lot of guys, I think, got the wave around there with the way the yellow fell there. It's tough to see that. And
yeah, it's showing Ross, but in the position that he's in on the track, it's kind of hard to see that he would be. But I know they don't really give you the wave around until one to go. So
yeah, and right now you see you got the 35 of Nathan Sedlak and the 68 Stephen Pearson in front of Len McNeese, who I believe McNeese is going to end up being your race leader. But those two guys, once we get the one to green, should get the wave around and have to make their way around the 2.5 mile super speedway here.
all right, with that, let's take a real quick break and we'll stretch a minute, do what we got to do, and get right back out of here.
Do more and stay active with O2 Derm Relief, the ache and pain relief gel like no other. No smell, no tingling sensation, and no greasy feel. O2 Derm Relief is a natural pain relief for everyday aches, pains, bumps, and bruises. Oxygen is the secret. It's the natural way to relieve and revitalize. Your joints, muscles, and skin need oxygen to thrive, and O2 Derm Relief delivers a rich supply of molecular oxygen in a new, state-of-the-art formula. Every day we hear new stories of pain relief from satisfied customers. Shouldn't you try O2 Derm Relief too? Score a $5 discount on your purchase of O2 Derm Relief. Visit O2dermrelief.com and use promo code SOMO999. That's the letter O, the number 2, dermrelief.com, and enter SOMO999 to get your $5 discount.
All right, we're back, everybody. O2 Derm Relief. They are a sponsor with us for a couple of races here in the Lazy Days Racing Cup Series. Great product. If you use the SoMo 999, you get a $5 discount. If you want to go check them out, check them out. They have a lot of different products out. They have products for you. They have products for your pet. If you have sore muscles or any aches and pains or whatever, the oxygen inside there, I'll tell you what, I've tried it. It works. It works great on burns too. So go check them out. Yeah, we see a lot of cars right now getting the wave around.
Yeah, so with the way that this really fell out, Ross Cadot and the X-Side number 12 Toyota Camry is your race leader. So all these cars are going to have to go around. I'm wondering if race control will delay the green flag. I don't know if these guys will have enough time to get to the get caught up, but they should. But
Yeah,
so your top 5 right now, we're going to have 15 cars on the lead lap after those pit stops. It's going to be Ross Cadot, and that X-Side number 12 is your race leader. Outside of him, Timothy Lewis will start second. Shane Billings, the guy that was on the bubble, who made the show with some withdrawals, and he sits third right now in that car number 76. To his outside, AJ Hamill. Devin Sanders is sitting fifth. Justin McDuff, one of those drivers that's kind of been quiet all night, and one of the final 4 from last year's championship showdown. He sits 6th. Chris Grosso is 7th. Bobby Lassiter is 8th. Keith Mayato, 9th. And rounding out your top 10, the 84 of Len McNeese, who has got to get around the speedway and get caught up here as we get ready to go with a green flag once again. So race control lights come back out on the Ford Mustang pace car, Paul, and we are going to be delayed one more lap here.
yeah, that's
Under
good.
green.
Get the field tightened back up, especially at a track like this. You don't want to have it that disoriented on the start. I still see guys shuffling through for positions. See the '09 right now being told by his spotter to go ahead and pass a bunch of cars and get back up where he's supposed to be. Sometimes the scoring doesn't always catch up right away, so you got to compensate for it and try to make it work.
Yeah, it's getting all lead lap cars. There's, like we said, once that pit cycle leaves 15 cars on the lead lap. Last car on lead lap is the 13 of Charles Silver, as he is 15th. The first car 1 lap down in the lucky dog position right now is the number 81 of Daniel Haney, one of the 3 Haney brothers out here racing, the HBR Haney Boys Racing team, and they come in here with a championship looking to be defended with the car number 87 of Keith Haney as they work down the super stretch as we get ready to go for this green flag restart number 2. So 60 laps in, we've got just about 70 laps to go in this 130 lap contest, and we will be ready to throw the green flag this time off at turn number 4.
Everybody's going to tighten them up and set them in one more time. See if we can't get that long green flag run that they're looking for.
So it's interesting to note here is the pace car is going to be able to take the hard left-hander down pit road. All the cars got the wave around, even though they're on the lead lap, are sandwiched between the are in the backward lap as the green silk flies are back underway, and it'll be Cadot on the loud pedal first with Lewis to the outside. That Tim Hortons coffee car, number 76 of Shane Billings. He's all over the back bumper of Cadot on this restart with the 18 and the 20. Now watch those two. Those two are teammates, Paul. Be interesting to see. This is the first time tonight that they've been hooked up to see if they work together.
Yeah, I'd say the best thing for them to do is just stay right there, stay together, wait for that hole to open up, and try and make it happen. I know teammates, you try to stick together, but racing is racing, so it looked like 20 will make it back down. I thought the hole was going to close up before he can get there.
He had a little bit of a run. I think Cadot may have lifted just enough as the 20 and the 18 swing around the 4 of Lucas. They should have the momentum to get by as Hamill will go back to the race lead with Justin McDuff and at number 20, the Fox Shocks car, close in tow. But here comes the inside line with a little bit of momentum as your top 2 clear them.
Wow, what a move. That was a real nice move there.
That was a big power move as those Chevys work together down the backstretch. And Lewis with that Butler Furniture car number 4 working the back bumper of McDuff now. And you see the 76 of Shane Billings up on the outside. He's got help by the Bass Pro Shops, car number 11 of Lassiter, but Lassiter trying to find a way around the 76 of Billings. Billings a rookie this year in the SRL as the 11 scrapes the wall a bit. They're 3 wide out of the tri-oval.
Yeah, we are just watching the intensity level just crank up a little bit more.
I don't know if I can take it getting any higher. These guys, you'd think they were racing on the last lap right now.
And we still got plenty racing left. Still got
2 laps shy of the halfway point here in the season opener. VTFantasyRacing.com 300 for the SoMo Racing League's LDR Xfinity series as they work down here and got around the outside. Here comes Lewis with help from the number 12 of Caddo. They got the 25 car of Sanders working the inside line, and here comes the number 76 of Billings. He's got some help by the 94.
That outside line is really working good.
Of Gallon Gidman. And Paul, this is what we talked about during that yellow. You got the 94 car. He is 16th. He's the first car 1 lap down. He's up here racing with the leaders. These guys are fast enough to be up there, but the way the caution fell and when they pitted and how they got on and off of pit road has really shaken up this field. So you got some fast guys that are caught 1 lap down right now.
And thought I seen a little bit of trouble back here. Seemed like they got it straightened out. It looked like somebody got up in the wall, 3 wide coming through that tri-oval right there. Yeah, you know you're a lap down and you're in with the leaders just as fast as them, man. The only thing you can hope is to get back on that lead lap because you know you got a car that can keep up with them or pass them. And to be stuck a lap down in that same spot, man, it's just it's so disheartening sometimes during the race. See, Sean Lejeune started 17th, up back to 23rd right now, showing 1 lap down. Another guy that would like to get back on that lead lap.
It's going to take a lot of either a lot of yellows. There's a lot of good guys. There's some strategy of staying out and not pitting when some of the other guys do. If we get a couple yellows or whatnot to get the wave around right now, Paul, there's a lot of good cars 1 lap down that were contenders up front. And right now we're seeing the duo, the 2 teammates of Hamill and McDuff showing away. Lewis right there. He's got Chris Grosso now working to his back bumper, a seasoned veteran here in the SRL. He's working the back bumper of Lewis as they work down through here. And here comes the outside pole sitter, the 09 of Keith Mayato. He's up there inside the top 10.
And if you look, you got Devin Sanders on the outside with Shane Billings trying to get something going on that line.
The outside line just can't seem to get that well together as now they do. As you got the Ross Caddo and the car number 12. He's getting a nice push by the 94 of Gidman. And Gidman, like I said earlier, was the first car 1 lap down right now, Paul. And so he's going to help him, but he also wants to become the lucky dog runner. If you got 1 car down the grass, you're getting out of the way for your race leaders. So nice sportsmanship right there as the leaders go on flying by.
Yeah, he wants to stay in that lucky dog spot, hopefully not get caught in anything if another caution comes out, and at least get on and be able to pit. Any of the other guys that take the wave round will not be able to pit. So, you know, that could be a winning move right there.
And it's quite interesting, right? Just looking at this, we got the 81 up there of Haney. He's the first car 1 lap down, but how hard are these guys going to push to stay there? Are they going to start mixing up with the race leader? So you got these guys that are racing for the lead, then you got the guys that are racing for the lucky dog spot in case that yellow does come out. So there's a lot of stuff happening right now as we are past halfway in this race. as they work lap number 68, going to put 69 up on the board. And there's a lot going on right now inside that top 10.
Yeah, and you know, if you're those cars racing for the spot for the lucky dog, you're gonna race as hard as you need to stay in front of that other guy. You know, you don't want him to be scored in front of you if that yellow does come out. And I'm sure they're aware of where they are, you know, in position on the track. So, you know, once you hear from your spotter that that guy's gaining on you, man, you know, you got to do what you can to try to secure that spot.
The outside line starting to get formed up a little bit as the 4 of Lewis now side by side, door panel to door panel with the number 20 of McDuff. So they run side by side, so they're up to second. So the race leader of Hamill, he can really start massaging the line. If he sees the outside line getting a run, he can go up there, kind of stall them out. He can come back down in front of the inside line. You know, really work that arrow. Right now, see if he's going to do it, as Lewis is going to get a nice run on the outside. As they don't, Chris Grosso giving a nice push to the 20 of McDuff. So things starting to really ramp up here as we got about 60 laps to go in this 130 lap race. And it's really starting to, the cream of the crop is starting to rise.
Only thing I'd say is I wouldn't count anything out right now after last night's race. You know, we had guys that were way in the back and didn't look like they were going to be anything for the race, and finished in the top 5. So, you know, a track like this, 60 laps, even 50 laps to go, still is an eternity.
The race leader is going to start coming up on lap traffic, and we saw how that worked out last night as the lap traffic works to the inside. It looks like to be
Aaron Riley.
Aaron Riley, so he's out there trying to get some points. It's early in the season, but it could make or break making the chase this season. So you got to give that driver in the AC Dalco, car number 33, some credit for going out there and just riding and doing the right thing, staying out of the way as the pack goes by him.
Yeah, you know, like I said earlier, man, this is a whole different season. With the top 35, you know, you got to do everything you can to try to secure a spot in that top 35. I know if you're like me, you don't want to have to depend on qualifying your way into the race. It's nice to be able to, you know, come in that week, get checked in, get on the track, and know you're good to go from the start. So, you know, normally it would have been you can just take the car behind the wall, take your loss and some points, you know, come back out next week and just come out and race. But there's no guarantee you're going to be in next week's race.
Yeah, the leader's coming up on the 00 of Troy as they
Tony
work
Gray
down through the tri-oval. They're going to catch him on the exit of the tri-oval. He's going to stay high for your race leaders as they work by. But it does get a little bit hairy when you come by them like that.
Oh, and we have contact. Somebody made contact with him, stuck him up into the wall. He's trying to keep it up there to let everybody go by. Does a great job of keeping it up there, but I think that pretty much just destroyed his car for the rest of the evening.
That was Tony Gray, in 00, doing a nice job staying up out of the way. Just like I said, Paul, the track really gets narrow as the race leaders are coming up on some other lap traffic that's going to do the same thing here. And
yeah, it looked like the number 76 made a little bit of contact with him and just kind of, you know, not intentionally, but got him stuck up in the wall, man. But he does a great job of hanging on to it.
Yeah, they were just worked by the 93 of Dower, who had issues in that second caution of the evening. Now they're going to work underneath the 07 of Billy Howard, who was a front runner earlier on in this race, but then had that hard inside lick to the inside barrier. Thank God Daytona International Speedway has put in safer barriers on the inside of the racetrack, because he hit a wall a ton, and it's good to see Billy out there after being released from the infield care center.
And Howard's car really doesn't look too bad. I think if he can grab onto the back of that pack, he can probably stay in the draft with them and at least, you know, not run around alone. You know, when you're alone on this track, man, it's a long way around.
It definitely is, and the draft is everything, and like everything just happens so quick around here. And I tell you, the two quickest cars right now have seemed to hook up, and it looks like they've done this before as your two race leaders. But here comes the 4 of Lewis, with pushing from the 25 of Sanders.
and Sanders just moves up just a little bit. I've seen that a couple of times, and it kind of breaks them up from getting that run that they're looking for.
Gotta wonder if his car is just a little bit hot right now. He's been tucked up behind that number 4 of Lewis as they work down into turn number 1 once again. Just wondering if he's a little bit. There's one car out of shape. That looks like to be the 31, possibly out of shape back there. He does a nice job saving it. It was an X-Side Batteries car. He has a nice job saving it back there at the back of this pack, but he's going to lose the draft.
Yeah, it's going to hurt him a little bit, but you know what? He's still running. Get in, get some rubbers, and get back out. We've got Paul Cohen, Chris Samard, Stephen Pearson.
Chris Grosso in trouble. Paul off. Sorry to interrupt you. Chris Grosso in the car number 42. He was running third. Got in the loose or clipped the apron or something. Got loose, saved the car. And it looks like maybe Lewis getting inside as he comes across the team chat and says sorry about that. So nice save by the 42 of Grosso, who was just sitting there minding his own business. Now Sanders tucks up inside there, but here comes the number 4 of Lewis. He's got the 35 of Sedlak pushing him to the race lead. New race leader down the super stretch into turn number 3 is Timothy Lewis.
And McDuff and Hamill just come back hard again, see if they can cross that start-finish line again.
That time Hamill is credited with your race lead, but the 35 there of Sedlak, I believe he's the first car 1 lap down, so there we go. If he can get by the 4 and then get in front of these race leaders, he's done it the hard way of getting back on the lead lap, but that, like I said, and right behind him, the 94 of Gilderman, that's the car that he's battling for that lucky dog position. So you got a battle for the race lead and a battle for there. And one car is Lewis just kind of sits right there in front. Is trouble for the 18 as cars are just going to get piled in. Is big trouble for early race leader, the number 18 of AJ Hamill, the 84 of Len McNeese. Comes in late, also hard on the binders, couldn't clear it. Big junk in turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Looked like 4, I don't know, was going to go down in front of the 18 and just didn't have the room to clear him. And was on from there pretty much.
Yeah, he got a good push by the 35 of Sedlick. And he just cut the 18, got to run. It looks like, you know, we saw this last week. I don't know if they're just turning in too hard or if there was net code that got him loose, but the 4 just kind of loses it down in front of the 18, and then the 18 and the 20 get into it. The 4 goes for a spin. I don't think McDuff has too much damage. And then it was just on back there, but another big one happened in the 20, who is a contender for tonight's race lead. He's got a lot of front end and rear end damage on that Fox Shocks number 20 car.
And you know that's not a good thing because they had a good shot at it tonight. Like I said before, you know, it's not over till it's over. You never know. You can never count anybody out here.
No, and you never know, but big front end damage and rear end damage on the 87 of Keith Haney as well, our defending champion, not having the night that he was looking to have, as the 20 of McDuff is your race leader, but he's got a lot of damage on the front of that number 20 Chevy Monte Camaro here, and he's going to have to take it down pit road to get some of it fixed.
Curious to see now who's going to take a wave around and get some of these lap cars back on the lead lap.
I think if McDuff comes down pit road this time by, all the cars behind him, if they stay out on the speedway, I think back to the 48, even including the 48. So I think all the cars that stayed out on the lead lap are out on the racetrack right now. If they all stay out, they'll get the wave around, but then they're going to either have to pit once they get back on the lead lap, once we go back green, as one car. The 81 looks like David Haney slow on the back stretch.
Yeah, I think I
And
just
coming to
saw
a
his.
stop.
Think I just saw the engine blow up.
So a tough break for him, but all those cars right there would be on the wave around receiving end if the 20 of McDuff comes down pit road, which I don't see how he can stay out. Tough break is him and Hamill were working really well together, and Sutton the Ford just loses it and comes down in front of them. There's nowhere to go, Paul.
Yeah, like I said before, man, it's the wrong place at the wrong time, the right place at the right time. After watching last night's race, like I said, you cannot count anybody out of this race. You can be a lap down, you can be in the back, and you still have a chance. And as a driver, that's what you got to remember when you get yourself in that position, that it's not over yet. Anything can happen, and as you see, anything does happen. You don't really need to go out there and be super over aggressive. You just got to be smart, hang out, and plot your course. And we seen it last night in the truck race. We seen guys that were in the back that looked like they had no chance even for a top 20, and end up in the top 5. And it's hard to keep that in your head when you're out there driving. Looks like we have Dean Viney shown as our race leader right now. Charles Silver will be shown in second. Jim Locking, Galen Gidman, and Jeff Sharp as it stands right now. A lot of damages, but, still plenty of racing to go.
A lot of racing to go here in the VT Fantasy Racing.com 300. And Paul, once again, we got to thank those guys for sponsoring their season opener here tonight. And it's a good thing. It's a fantasy NASCAR contest like you've never seen or played before. You can choose between 2 contests. They have a classic contest and a pro contest, and you can play both of them at the same time. The classic allows you to change your team twice a year, and so you got to be ready to pick out your team for the long haul. And start of this season, a lot of teams mix up in the NASCAR side of things. It's going to be a challenge to see who guesses it right at the beginning of this season. Or you can play the pro, where you can change your drivers weekly to see who's hot and who's not hot. And BTFR is just $10 for a season's worth of fun, or $15 to play both contests. And you have till Sunday around 2 o'clock, right before the Daytona 500 kicks off, to sign up for them. And it's a good time, and I'm playing both, and I challenge you all out there to come in and try to beat us, as we finished second last season in the VTFR Fantasy League. And it's a really good time. It's a good way to stay committed and watch all the races and everything like that. So I want to thank those guys for coming on board to sponsor tonight's season opener here to 300. And how about a shout out to Lazy Days Racing, the title sponsor of the Xfinity series. And they're just a team on iRacing that loves racing and loves being involved with racing, and whether it's league or iRacing in the open servers, these guys are all about fun and being competitive. And we want to thank them for being the proud title sponsor of the SRL's Xfinity series here, Paul. And they've done a lot for you, and as we get ready to go back green flag racing once again here in this 300-mile contest.
Yeah, it's really good to have them on board this year. They came on board last year mid-season, and came in as the title sponsor for this season, so definitely happy to have them back.
Well, we're under 40 laps to go. You think the intensity level racks up a little bit more?
I think they just turned the heat up quite a bit.
It is going to be a wild finish here. I hope you all are strapped in as the green flag comes back out. And Dean Viney is going to lead us to the green flag as we're back underway here in the VTFantasyRacing.com 300. We're back under green.
And they got a real good start up there in the front. Jim Locking's got himself up to third right now, behind Dean Viney. Jim Larkin's a good racer. He's real comfortable around Dean. So the two of those guys can work good together. I'm sure Dean's really comfortable with him pushing him in the back. So, going to be some fun here, man. Like I said, I think they just cranked it up a couple of notches.
There's a couple new players up on the front of this one. The 13 of Charles Silver up on the front. It's the first time we've mentioned his name tonight as he sits in the front of this one. He's got a nice back bumper full of the 94 of Galen Gidman, a rookie this season, and the top 10 looks completely different than it did about 5 laps ago.
Absolutely. I was just going to say, he was just a lap down not too long ago, and here he is, finds himself in second place, pushing, the leader, looking for a chance to get around.
One driver dropping like a rock is our defending champion, the 87 of Keith Haney, who has heavy front end and rear end damage, so it looks like his bid for a win to start off the season is over for tonight. Is a tough break for a lot of drivers in that last pile-up. There are a lot of cars that got wrecked out of that one.
Yeah.
But Charles Silver showing the way in that number 13 up front.
Yeah, Charles Silver is a returning driver here at SoMo. He was here a couple seasons ago, and then between school and other things, he had to take some time off. And he said he was coming back for the 2017 season, so good to see him out front getting some points and guaranteeing himself in that spot if he can stay alive till the end of the race.
They worked down the backstretch. Chris Grosso, who went for a slide for life about 4 laps before the big one happened. Maybe that was a blessing for him. He moves into the second spot as he goes by the 94 Gidman. He also brings the 71 of Viney and the 35 of Sedlec, rounds out your top 5. That's how they work. And here comes the 91 of Glocking. Glocking, a driver that hasn't been mentioned much all night. He's back up inside the top 10, battling for this race win.
And he started 18th here. He's managed to keep himself clean and, get himself up into where he needs to be now. If he can just stick up here for the rest of the race, that's actually a good spot to be in when you're coming down to the checkers. Because all that action that's going on in front of you, sometimes it's like the sea parts open and you can just drive right on by. You've seen Viney jump up to the outside now. It looked like he was going to come back down. It looked like he was going to jump up to the outside and see if they can't get that outside line going, but maybe had a second thought about it.
Yeah, Gidman's going to get this lead, but here comes Silver back to the inside. So it'll be it'll be Gidman in that 94, the NOS Energy. Car 94 leading that one. He got a nice push by the 35 of Sedlak. And right now, that took a lot of good fast drivers and hurt a lot of cars. So I think these guys right now are potentially the drivers that are going to be battling for this win.
Yeah, I'd like to think that, but after last night's race, I don't know, man. There's not enough. Let me know when it's about 5 laps to go, and I'll tell you what I think, because anything can happen, man. It's just
arm store for me hitting it, saying, "Hey, look at this yet."
It's just amazing because here you had Gidman, who's now leading this race, and just before that he was back, lap down, 13th, 16th, 15th, 14th spot. So that was only a matter of 8 or 10 laps maybe. And, with the amount of laps that we still have left, I mean, I'm telling you, I wouldn't count out anybody just yet.
Yeah, we've had a few more retirees. Paul is the 18 car of AJ Hamill has pulled it behind pit wall and will be done for the night.
Oh.
And the same for the 20 of Justin McDuff.
Oh,
so
that's too
those
bad.
guys were fast up front. It's a tough way to start off the season. But those guys will be back next week in Atlanta. And they'll be back faster than ever, but it's tough. You don't want to see anybody get wrecked out of the race at all. And they were just racing really hard up front, and we were just talking about this. Something had to give, and unfortunately, it gave up front and took out a lot of fast race cars.
Yeah. It's Daytona, and I think you kind of know when you come into Daytona that anything can happen. It's definitely skill, but it's a lot of luck, and you know, you have that mindset of it. We see a little bump right there from the 12 to the 31. It almost sends him up into Billy Howard, who was going around on the outside. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
remember,
go ahead.
I think we're going to say the same thing. Just a little while ago, we were saying Billy Howard just went down a lap. Now he is back up here, battling up in the front of this one, and he's still
Looks like two
two
laps
laps
down.
down. But like you said, anything can happen. We have about 40 laps to go right now.
And we still have some, you know, hard racing going on here. We got guys that aren't going down quietly. You got Keith Haney still on the lead lap, but really struggling with that car. Lots of damage. And then we move up to Seth Hatchell, who had some earlier incidents, and you know, his car was pretty rough shape. Looks like they've kind of fixed it up a little bit. Got him back out there. You know, he's currently 15th, so not really sitting too bad.
And your race leaders are just coming up on the defending champ as they work through turns 1 and 2. He's going to stay high, allow this field to go by. So his car definitely has seen better days as they work by him here on the super stretch.
Yeah.
And a tough ending to start the season off for the defending champ.
I'll tell you what, that won't be the last you'll see of him. I can guarantee you that. He'll be back next week at Atlanta, and he'll be making some noise in Atlanta. He's a good driver, patient, you know, knows how to get it done, can keep his car around to the end of the race. And like I said, he came in, you know, kind of late in the season last year and managed to get enough wins and points to get him up into the chase. So, you know, and then to take the championship. So he definitely can get it done here. And he's not the kind of guy that'll get discouraged and, you know, just give up on it. He'll come back and fight.
I think right now these guys are just trying to get to the end. I think it's going to be very close on fuel. We might see another round of green flag pit stops, which could really shake up how this race ends. So right now we're seeing, you know, most of the track is single file except for Billy Howard, who's kind of hanging out on his own up on the outside, but the top 6-7 cars are all in a single file row as they work around the speedway, just clicking off some laps. And I think it's that time of the race right now where everybody's, all right, we got to take a deep breath. Let's relax a little bit. Because you know, as well as I do, is once we get to that 20 laps to go, the intensity level is just going to be skyrocketed through the roof, and it's going to be, I'll be knocking your arm off a little bit even more.
Yeah, it's kind of like the calm before the storm, you know?
Exactly.
You got to, you know, take a little breather here, let your hands relax a little bit, kind of, you know, move your shoulders around a little bit, get ready for the next round of storm that's going to come, because it is going to come. The storm is going to be there. Once these guys see, you know, we start getting closer to 20 to go, that's when the trigger goes off inside your mind and you say, okay, 20 to go, time to go. Unfortunately, here at Daytona and Talladega, 20 to go, man, you know, may as well be 100 to go, it seems like, when you're inside that car. Taking a look here at Nathan Sedlak, started 12th. He's up in second right now.
He was a driver that was battling a lucky dog when that yellow came out, so we know that he's got a fast Old Spice car number 35 behind the 94 Guildman, so we do know it's a fast car.
I was just going to say something about that car too. You know, I was a big fan of Tony Stewart's when he ran the Old Spice. I used to run that paint a lot, man. I like the way that looks. I like Samard's car too, man. It's a nice color with that offset of the numbers. Kind of really makes it stand out. Looks really nice under the lights here. They're making.
Here comes the number 4 of Lewis now. Remember, he's the car that got loose as he works the outside of Chris Grosso, and he's got help with Chris Samard. So a driver that both have been in trouble, they're coming up here on the outside like everybody else is standing still.
And he's getting a great run right there. I think Grosso just put his foot down and got right up behind him and just said, come on, we're going to go.
And that's the battle for your race lead. So I thought Lewis had to spend some time on pit road fixing that car after going through the spin cycle. But no, and then Chris Samard, who was in trouble early on in this race, he's up there battling for a top 10. So where did he come from?
I told you, anything can happen. It's not over until it's over, man. It ain't going to be over until you see that checkered flag. And I guarantee you, when you see them come across the line, you'll be just as surprised as I am.
The bottom line with Sedlak and Gilman kind of getting locked back up together. And but can't count out that 4 of Lewis. He's got a nice push and partner of the 77.
And here comes
Samard.
Here comes the lap car of Billy Howard to get mixed up in this and help form up that inside line.
And for my knowledge, I don't think Billy Howard has any ties with any of the guys that he's up there racing with. So the only thing he's worried about is getting up there, getting back to 1 lap down. So Billy Howard up there trying to get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, if he can get in front of the leaders and get one of them back and keep it that way for a little bit, and another caution does come out, he'll be sitting pretty. Look back here at Dean Viney. Looks like Len McNeese. Has he taken it behind the wall? Yeah, it looks like Len McNeese may have taken it behind the wall or getting some damages repaired. That was someone he was working really good with. So Dean Viney's going to have to find him somebody to work with pretty soon and get up there. I know he knows Gross, so they're kind of comfortable together. So, they're nose to tail right now. Might be something forming up for a run. They're moving their way up to the front right now.
Yeah, the outside line kind of stalled out with the 4 of Lewis and the 77 of Samard. So now they are up there battling for the race lead. Now they're just barely hanging on to the top 5 as they work through turns 1 and 2. And you gotta wonder if Samard's car started to get a little bit hot because they were tandeming, so you know that they can get up there. As now Samard drops down low, and CF Lewis is able to drop down low as well as we're back to single file. And so here comes Billy Howard trying to make a run on your race leaders.
Now, if he can get somebody to get behind him and help him get in front of them, that would definitely benefit him. But will anybody take that chance and jump up? Looks like he'll come back down and try and regroup it and maybe get it going again.
Maybe that was a test run.
Here they go.
Here comes Howard. Howard getting a push from Grosso. He's going to try to get back to 1 lap down as he goes to the outside of Sedlak and the 94 Gildman. With a little bit of help of that 42, they got the 76 of Billings, who's going to step up high. So, like I said, remember what we were talking about in the pre-race there, Paul? These cars that now are out there with damage. They can start playing into the pick game with some of these leaders as it gets ready to wind down at the end of this.
Absolutely. You want to stay out there and gain as many positions as you can. Looked like Dean Viney took it low. All right, we got pits going on.
Pit road locking, and the 77 of Chris Samard also coming down pit road. So the final pit stops of the evening happening right now. We had just about 29 laps to go as they come down pit road for 4 tires and full tank of gas. So pit strategy, Paul, remember what I said about that also, that's going to come into play as this one looks like it has a green look right now.
Yeah, you just got to see if anybody, they got to keep it underneath the pit speed. Try not to get black flagged and have to come back in and serve any penalties. This is definitely going to change things now.
Yeah, here comes your race leaders. So the 94 of Gildman and the 35, they got to get it woed down to 60 miles an hour, which they do, which is very hard to go from 190 to 60 as they come down this long pit road, and it seems like you're going so slow when you come down pit road. As the 35, I said that could be the first car into his pit stall, hits his marks the crew over the wall. 4 tires going on that car with a full tank of Sunoco race fuel. and they are out and away. So the 35 and the 94 will be nose to tail once again off pit road, along with the 12 of Caddo coming off. And so these guys got to get lined up and can't blend till they come off of turn number 2. So it's really tricky to stay on the bottom of this one and not catch that apron to cause issues.
Yeah, especially with traffic coming at such a high rate of speed, you really got to watch coming off. You know, they're coming up, they're coming up on you at such a rate of speed, and you know, they're trying to anticipate which way you're going. You're trying to figure out which way they're going to go, and man, it just gets ugly. Mr. Wagner just said Gidman, not Gildman. I didn't realize you were calling him Gildman.
Well, I'm sorry about that. I'll put a couple quarters into the jar here for the names I butcher. I'm sorry about that. We'll get it right as they work around here. So Gidman out in front with Sedlak all over the back bumper of them. Those two just coming off of pit road, so those two are hooked up and moving down the backstretch. So thank you, Mr. Wagner, for that. And I have post-it notes all over this place.
We got Jeff Sharp right now leading the way. Behind him, Billy Howard is still trying to get back that lap. He has nobody really to help him. You have Michael Palmer back there, but not really close enough to Billy to help him try to get around and get that lap back.
And at the 49 coming down pit road right now, so your race leader on pit road, Jeff Sharp. So he's going to be the lone man, kind of no help coming down pit road. Going to hope he's going to blend out with some, where he can get behind someone to get some help, but and he overshot his pit just a little bit, so we'll see how it all shakes out.
And that should put Galen back to the lead here. Yeah,
They've opened up a 3-second lead over the guy behind them, the number 11 of Bobby Lassiter. So they've got some breathing room right now between themselves and the third place car as the 49 of Sharp comes through, you know, and on pit road. So that's really going to hurt his chances unless we get one of those late race yellows, Paul, which anything could happen as you keep telling me.
Yeah, you'll see it. You'll definitely see it. Once they get a little bit more bunched up, which they will, you know, the guys will start grabbing other guys. They'll start getting together. The laps will start going down, and man, it's just going to be crazy. Just watching now, 25 laps, 3 cautions, 22 lead changes tonight.
And I think that number is going to increase here.
Oh, what a save by Gidman.
He's still working the wheel. Nice save by Gidman on that one as the lap cars kind of went too wide in front of him. And Gidman kind of checked up, and I don't think Sedlak saw what was happening and got in the back of him. So that's going to separate those two. And now Sedlak 3 seconds in front of Gidman, and 3 seconds in back from Gidman is Lassiter. And Grosso and Lewis are hooked up on the racetrack in a little pack there, so they're gonna catch them guys fairly quick. So we'll see how much these guys, the leaders, can gather it back up. But that's really gonna hurt the chances. And I've been there. You can't really see when you get tucked up behind someone. The spoilers stick up so high up on these cars, you can't really see past them. You're really just by your spotters and by the feel of it. And wondering if the 35 of Sedlak has any front end damage now.
Yeah, we had a little bit of contact going on back here. 72, John Estes. I don't know if he got forced in the middle of a three wide. A little bit of contact. They all got through it, but it didn't look good there for a little bit.
So Grosso with Lewis working the outside of the 94 of Gidman, and they're bringing the 11 of Lassiter with them as well. So now Gidman's at least got some drafting help. He'll be able to suck back up in there as they work as the 35 of Sedlak has fallen in front of the 19 of Jamal. So
The heat is coming.
So just like that, we have a big pack again. And these two are coming. Grosso with Lewis pushing them. They're going to swing to the outside. We're going to have a new race leader this time by at the stripe.
Yeah, they came with a full head of steam on that one. And they both get by with no problem right there.
We got Gidman there, and you got Sedlak now that's going to jump up behind them on the outside. So now it's a four-horse battle, and here comes Lassiter around the lap cars of Gamel and the number 8 of Hatchell. So 6 cars in the front of this one ready to do battle with 20 laps to go, Paul. It is go time.
Yes, sir. Now you're going to see the fire come out. Great job by Gidman, though, man, to recover from that slide and get back up here, almost in contention for taking the lead again.
Yeah, the driver did great composure. I don't know how he saved that. Great handwork and throttle control by the 94 Gidman as he's on the outside of Lewis now. They're going to be battling for this race lead as they come off of turn number 4. Down in the trial vote, Gidman's going to be back to your race lead. Sedlak to the back bumper. He's making that car smell awful nice with the amount of bumper uses that he's rubbing on there. As they work down in the turn number 1, it is the 94 Gidman showing the way over Grosso. And so those two working together good all night long. And now they're hooked back up after a little bit of a tangle they had a few laps ago.
And they have got it just hooked and moving. And they bring it down in front of the inside line, and they'll secure that for right now. And it seems like back from Timothy Lewis, there's quite a distance to Bobby Lassiter, a little over almost 3 seconds back. Got a bunch of guys here all just single filed in this back section.
And it seems like the 11 of Lassiter just can't get anybody really to draft with him. Now he's got the 12 of Cato onto the back bumper of him. But they got a lot of real estate to make up to catch up to these front 4 that are pretty much, doing the tango and doing the 2-car dance here as they work around the speedway.
Well, even though we're at 19, coming 18 to go, that's a long way around. Keep your fingers crossed, tighten those buckles, and hope we can keep it green to the rest of the way. Got Adam Baker back here with Joe Mitchell and Jeff Sharp.
So, Paul, they work by the 51 of Cohen and the 7 of Howard out there trying to do damage control on points, making some laps to get out of the way of the leaders. So, good driving so far, and they go by the 93 of Dower. Tough break for that rookie as he was up front early in this race and just got caught up in some unfortunate troubles later on in the stages of this race. But right now, it's the front 4 that we're watching. And these guys are putting on one heck of a show, and I don't know who's going to win this.
Yeah, and it may not be any of those 4.
Don't do that to me, Paul.
Well, it's just Daytona. I mean, it's just amazing how fast things change.
Definitely does this Grosso with a little bit of a run. Gotta wonder if that rear end damage is just enough to not allow them to really get up there, or if they're just kind of riding it out right now. And you'll see them hooked up with 2 laps to go to try to make a run for this for the win. They work down off of turn number 4 once again. The laps are winding down. We got about 15 laps to go.
And now,
this one.
and now the question that you have to ask too: did anybody kind of short fuel? And maybe now miscalculation, trying to save a little bit, or was it a full? Did everybody take a full fuel run?
The bigger question is, do you pit if we get a yellow?
It depends where you're at on the track. I mean, it's not really going to help you all that much. I don't really think here. So, if I'm up front, there's no way I'm going in unless I'm absolutely short on fuel. If I'm towards the back, it's a hard one because you don't want to be the only one to go in because you really can't make up a whole lot of spots right off the bat. Tires are not tires on a track like this. I'd say if you got enough fuel, you stay out and stay where you are and just, if it comes back green, here we go. Caution is out.
Here we go. Try to find out what the yellow is for here on the speedway. Looks like I got some issues
It's
off
like
of turn
Sean
number
Lejeune. Let me go back and
2.
take a look.
Yeah, the 56 of Sean Lejeune smoking heavily. Part of the reason of the yellow. Let's see what happened here, Paul.
Looks
They're
like
racing hard with the 91 of Jeff Locking, and it looks like they just kind of made contact and hard to the outside wall. The 09 of Keith Maeto also involved in there. About 4 or 5 cars sliding. Hatchell with a long, a little bit longer of the night, bringing out our 4th yellow of the evening.
looked like they were coming up on a lap down car there, and looked like Locken was coming down a little bit to try to get out. From what I've seen, it looked like may have been a little bit of net code involved in there also, because briefly from what I could see, it looked like he started to get a little bit of damage before there was contact. And
Yeah,
I know last night that was a real big issue in last night's race.
It definitely was, and it kind of had the same look to it in the same spot of last night. And so a tough break for the 56 of Sean Lejeune. Looks like the 11 of Bobby Lassiter are one of the only leaders coming down pit road right now. So like we said, about 5th on back came down pit road, Paul. The tires are nice here. You make sure you got enough fuel in the car to get to the end. But at the same time, those tires, they make you move a little bit, but if you don't have the help to get through anything, then I don't know how much it's really going to help you.
Yeah, and like I was saying before, if some of the guys took a little bit less on the fuel, this is definitely going to help them, get that lap or so, lap and a half that they needed if they were short. So, it's probably a welcomed caution in that sense, but for the guys up front, it's probably not something they want to see because it just packs the field back up, and cautions breed caution. So hopefully, they can get through this and run this the rest of the way out green, and let it space out. But it's like I said, man, it ain't over till we cross that checkers, and I'm going to be just as surprised as you are when we see who crosses that checkers first.
While
Still,
we're under the caution, we'll let the results get updated here, Paul. We'll do a rundown, see where your favorite drivers are running. We got Galen Gidman up on the front of this one, showing the way. Nathan Sedlak sitting second. Third will go to Chris Grosso. Timothy Lewis sitting fourth. And Ross Cadeau, he's been around the all race long, kind of in that fifth spot. Charles Silver sitting in your sixth spot. Chris Samard and Adam Baker swapping spots now. So Chris Baker up to seventh. Samard is eighth. Joe Mitchell has been quiet all night long in that 54 Toyota. He sits there in your eighth spot. Jim Locking ninth, and Bobby Lassiter rounding out your top 10.
yeah, see, Baker up there, and Joe Mitchell up there, guys who've been quiet all night. It's still a possibility for them to still, we'll be going, 10 laps to go, 9 laps to go when we go green. Still a possibility for a win from anybody that's still on this lead lap. We've seen it time and time again. You think you got it in the bag, and there it goes.
Right now, timing and scoring showing 16 cars on the lead lap. So, any one of those 16 could end up being the winner, Paul, as we get ready to closing in on 10 laps to go in this BTFantasyRacing.com 300 season opener for the Xfinity Lazy Days Racing Xfinity Series in the SoMo Racing League. And it's been a great 2 weeks down here at Daytona. Caught a lot of fish during the day, and glad to be up here in the booth with you.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. Finally glad to get this thing going. A lot of anticipation all the way through. A little bit of confusion with some of the last minute adjustments that had to be done with the go or go homers. But I'd say all in all, it worked out pretty good. The guys did a great job adapting to it and figuring it out. And, I think everybody's pretty satisfied with it, knowing that it's it's as fair as it's going to be, and give everybody an opportunity to drive their car in. So, long season in all 3 series. So, always plenty time to climb yourself out of a hole if you get yourself in one. So, good to see it. It's good to see these guys doing a great job here tonight, man. And definitely going to be an exciting season.
It's already started out to be that one, and it's not over with yet. It's anybody's game. We've got 10 laps to go in the season opener. The Ford Mustang pace car lights are off. That's the signal to the drivers that we're going back green, this time off of turn number 4.
And the gloves
It's been
are
an
off.
exciting race so far. So interesting here, Paul, is that the 94, your race leader of Galen Gidman, he chose the outside on this restart. So I'm wondering if the 35 will lag back a little bit on the start, and those two will get nose to tail. Those two have been drafted very well here this evening. Or if it's if those partnerships are gone with 10 laps to go, it's 10 laps to go this time when the pace car takes the left-hand turn. And the green flag will be back out, and we're back under green here. The season will wrap up this race, and we're back under. Cora Lewis all over the back bumper of Gidman as they're side by side for the front. The 35 of Sedlak. He's got the back trunk full of the 42 of Grosso. Here comes Lewis, and here comes the 13 of Silver. Cato on that number 12, the X-Side Batteries car. He's up inside trying to get up in there to make it a 6-car battle for the front of this. Here comes the 48 of Baker and the 54 of Mitchell, also working the outside. Silver's around hard, and the outside wall goes the 54 of Joe Mitchell. We got cars all over the track. Yellow flag coming out once again. Bobby Lassiter going for a ride in the Bass Pro Shops car. Who was leading that when they came off of turn number 2? I'm going to say it was the 35 of Sedlak. But a hard lick for some of these drivers into the safer barrier in turn number 2. Taking a look now, looks like the 13 was right behind the 4, and he just kind of got loose getting down into the corner and lost it. And he spins it sideways, and the 12 of Caddo just makes it by. The 48 of Baker makes a little bit of contact with that Hot Wheels number 48, but then Mitchell kind of grazes the outside wall, and then the 31 of Michael Palmer trying to slow down, but gets to the back bumper of the 54 of Mitchell, and it was on from there, getting Bobby Lassiter. And the 49 of Sharp also involved. A lot of good cars all caught up in that one again, Paul. Well, we'll re-rack them, restack them, and try it again. Mr. Where did he come from again? Especially here at the restrictor plate racing. And what's on tap tomorrow night for the SRL, Paul?
We got the Daytona 500 in the Lazy Days Racing Cup Series live on MaxB TV at 8:40. 200 laps, season opener in the Cup Series, and Lupe Gonzalez is your last year's champion. Going to be trying to defend that championship again this year. Full 36 race season with the chase elimination, and man, it's going to be pretty exciting. They did the duels last week, got everybody on their grid, ready to start up, and I'll tell you what, man, these guys are going to get it done. Going to be fun. Third year here that SoMo Racing is doing a full 500, Daytona 500 here on iRacing, and the first year they did it with 1 caution. Second year they did it with 2 cautions. So if things go the way it's going, maybe they'll do it this year with 3 cautions. Definitely a lot of fun, though, man. Going to be a whole lot of shifting and shoving going on.
Definitely should tune into that one tomorrow night, as you guys we're very busy here at the SRL over a three-day period, back-to-back nights to back racing with the Truck Series, the Lazy Day Racing Truck Series, and tonight the Lazy Day Racing Xfinity Series, and the Cup Series tomorrow night. So you guys are busy and a full schedule for all those, and for more information, check them out online. The Southern Motorsports Racing is southernmotorsports.wixsite.com. Check them out for all the information and stay up to date with what's going on with the league. And you guys have started off with a good week so far. A couple weeks down here at Speed Weeks.
Yeah, I for one will be glad to get off of Daytona and move on to Atlanta and get somewhere where you can drive and hopefully even the plane out a little bit. Here's Daytona. I love racing Daytonas. I love racing Talladegas. It's a lot of fun. It's always intense. It's an exciting race from an in-car perspective, but it's just you could be doing good all night, having a real good run, and just be in the wrong place, the wrong time. At least you get to a track like Atlanta, Phoenix, Richmond, Pocono. Drivers got a lot to do with it.
Yeah, there's one. You got to be good, but you also have the lucky horseshoe around your neck to kind of make it through here, as you've seen tonight. And the team owners, the speedway cars, there's a lot of effort that goes into these cars to make them the missiles that they are, but it's also very expensive. So it's a good thing we only do this a few times a year. And next week we're at Atlanta, like you said, and I love Atlanta. The track's worn out, tires go away, and the lines all over the place. And the flag man is given the 1 lap to go. Sign the lights are out on the Ford Mustang pace car as the field doubles up once again. And Nathan Sedlak chose the inside line, leaving Gidman up on the outside. So we'll see what happens on this final restart.
And you see who's sneaking up in here is Adam Baker. Was quiet all night, sitting in the back, managed to avoid that. Was working with Joe Mitchell for a little bit, managed to avoid that wreck, and got himself in a pretty good spot here for the end.
Another driver back up towards the front is the 71 of Dean Viney and the 77 of Chris Samard. And if you remember earlier on in the race, Paul, both those drivers got into a little bit of trouble. So
yeah,
trying
definitely
to find out what's going to happen here, and these guys are still in it.
Well, we're gonna have a shootout here. Gonna be coming to 4 laps to go when we go green. If they can keep it green, it's definitely gonna be an intense finish.
Are you ready for this? Because I don't know if I am.
Yeah, I'm curious, man. All this anticipation. I want to see who's going to come out on top, man, because these guys have been really pouring it out and really racing. There's been amazing saves throughout this whole race, man. Gidman had some real great saves there. I mean, to see him come out with a win would just be amazing. But, I think it's just going to be one of those, man. Hold on, cross your fingers, and let's go.
Green flag is back out. Everybody's on the loud pedal hard. We had 4 laps to go to settle out this one. The VTFantasyRacing.com 300. Who will be the victor in Gatorade Victory Lane? We'll find out as they head down to turn number 1. Sedlak jump out to your race lead. Here comes Gidman. He's got the number 4 of Lewis all over the back bumper of him. Here comes Caddo and Baker. It's a 6-car breakaway up front.
And it looks like they're doing it pretty smart, kind of just hanging in there and knowing it's coming down to the end. Don't want to really take that chance and take yourself out from it. So, let's see how these guys plot their way through.
Saw a little bit of an electrical issue with the 42 of Grosso. Seems to have cleaned itself out. Now the outside line, it's got a little bit of momentum coming back. Here comes Gidman to the outside of Sedlak as they'll be about door to door down in the turn number 1.
Pulled a nice side draft.
Rows deep.
Pulled a nice side draft off of him there.
It broke off the number 12 of Cadell, but Baker just doesn't seem to be able to stay with the 4 of Lewis. That outside line not as organized as the front 2. Sedlak and Grosso. Gidman trying to side draft. The 42 does pull him off the 35 of Sedlak a little bit down in the turn number 1, or turn 3, excuse me. So now Baker working the inside of Lewis. That outside line just doesn't have enough cars or momentum right now.
And they pulled away from the rest of the pack pretty far.
2 laps to go. The popsicle sticks are up as they come down in turn number 1.
And
Yellow
the caution
flag
is
That's
out.
going to end it, Paul. And I believe it's going to be Nathan
Sedlak
picking up the win.
Wow, it looked like they were going to make it green all the way through. That was going to be an intense finish right there.
That was shaping up to be a good one. And it looks like it's going to be Nathan Sedlak picking up the win Chris Grosso will be second, and Gidman, who's been up front most of the night, will round out your top three. So we'll see how they all come across here as they catch the pace car where the white flag is displayed. So that is going to be how your VTFantasyRacing.com 300 comes to a close tonight. But that was shaping up to be one heck of a finish.
Yeah, I think that was going to definitely be a wild finish there, man, because nobody was giving up. And like I said before, it's not over till it's over, man. Things change so fast here at this track. You can be in the back and go to the front. You can be in the front and go to the back, and in a lap or two. Well, they
The
got
lineup
this
getting set up. It looks like it's going to put Gidman second.
Yeah, we had a similar thing last night in the trucks too. I don't know if it's where iRacing actually scores where they scored them, because last night was the same thing. They crossed the line in one position, but iRacing kind of switched it up a little bit, and I don't know where they actually come out with the where they lock it in.
And there's the checker flag, Paul. It is Nathan Sedlak picking up the win, striking first in the Lazy Day Xfinity Series here, and we'll talk to him. Nathan Gidman, or Galen Gidman, will finish second, and Chris Grosso rounding out your top three. We'll catch up with them and just after this.
Do more and stay active with O2 Dermalief, the ache and pain relief gel like no other. No smell, no tingling sensation, and no greasy feel. O2 Dermalief is a natural pain relief for everyday aches, pains, bumps, and bruises. Oxygen is the secret. It's the natural way to relieve and revitalize. Your joints, muscles, and skin need oxygen to thrive, and O2 Dermalief delivers a rich supply of molecular oxygen in a new, state-of-the-art formula. Every day we hear new stories of pain relief from satisfied customers. Shouldn't you try O2 Dermalief too? Score a $5 discount on your purchase of O2 Dermalief. Visit O2Dermalief.com and use promo code SOMO999. That's the letter O, the number 2, Dermalief.com, and enter SOMO999 to get your $5 discount.
All right, welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back here to Daytona International Speedway as we catch up with our top three finishers of the VTFantasyRacing.com 300. And I've down here on pit road, I have caught up with tonight's third place finisher, Chris Grosso. And Chris, that was an intense finish to this 300-mile race here.
Yeah, that was wild. It was an awesome finish. I'm glad we got to run it out a little bit there. That was really fun to start off the season.
Started out the race in 23rd position, and talk about your race and the strategy that was played out, and you kept your car semi-clean and ended up towards the front.
Yeah, we started in the back, so it was a little nerve-wracking, but my spotter, Chris Fowler, he kind of talked me through it, and made our way up there. We kind of got hit kind of mid-race and almost hit the inside wall, but kept it together and got a good caution. So just played it safe and kind of just picked our way up there, and towards the end we were right in it.
I was just going to bring up that moment there. You were running up inside the top 5, and it was like a side draft gone bad off of turn 4, and you did a heck of a job saving it. If it would have stayed green, do you think you would have had something for the win?
Well, that last caution, me and my spotter were talking all sorts of stuff, what we could do, maybe swing outside, inside. We were hoping to try something, but they were strong on the outside, so it was a heck of a race either way.
Well, it's a good way to start off the 2017 Lazy Day Xfinity Racing Series with a third place finish. We head to Atlanta next week. How's the outlook look there for you at Atlanta?
It's looking good. I definitely like Atlanta. It's a good way to start the season, and won't have to qualify in, so that'll be nice. Just get in and practice and put some laps down, and it should be fun. I'm excited.
All right, and before I let you go, who makes it all happen for you? Who you got to thank here tonight?
Yes, sir. I'd just like to thank Eric Brilly and everybody at Lazy Days Racing, my spotter Chris Fowler for helping me out tonight, and Joey Stats for pit stop designs. He painted me up a sweet car, so I appreciate that. And just want to dedicate this to Timmy over here at Lazy Days. He had some surgery today, and he's doing better, so this one's for him. He's getting better, and he'll be back with us soon. So
That's
thanks, guys.
good to hear.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, that's your third place finisher, the number 42 of Chris Grosso. And Paul, I believe that you've caught up with our second place finisher, the number 94 of Galen Gidman.
Hey, Galen Gidman, this is Paul up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Paul.
Hey, man, heck of a way to finish up there, man. Dude, you had some amazing saves out there. We were just amazed at the run that you had. How was it from your perspective?
Yeah, I think those saves you're talking about, that one when we had that lap car that wasn't sure which line he was going to be in, probably into 3, right? That
Yeah.
was so weird. I hadn't changed tires in a long time, and I just put a little wheel into it last minute, trying to figure out where to, go around him, and all of a sudden it just started wrecking. I was like, what? But what a blast. I hate second. I despise second, but I am so thrilled with that finish to get 3 RPM cars in the top 5 with Nathan and myself and Ross. I would have loved to won it, but 3 in the top 5 is really a really great way to start up the season, especially after last night where we all kind of ran into this misfortune. So really, really excited.
Yeah, it's definitely going to build a lot of forward momentum for you guys going into Atlanta next week. At least, you've got a real strong, secure position underneath that top 35. So that's got to be one less pressure that's off of you, not having to worry about even thinking about qualifying in. When we head to Atlanta next week, how do you think you'll do over Atlanta? You got anything for them?
Yeah, I feel really confident about the ability to run top 10, top 5 in the trucks and the B car. It didn't used to be this way, and I'm not sure what's changed, but Atlanta has gotten more and more wide open, and so you have it's not a plate racetrack, but it has that aspect where there's a measure of control you don't have over what's going on just because everybody's so wide open. So I think that as the long runs go, we'll be able to kind of control our own destiny more. But I feel good about running the top 5, top 10 over there, maybe getting a win, and then moving forward to Vegas and Phoenix and those other tracks where there's more off throttle time. I feel really, really good about it.
Yeah, well, I think you showed that you can get it done, man. Definitely some really amazing saves out there, man. Just amazing to see on camera, and just amazing to see all together. Definitely put the whole package together. I know you'd like to get that first place, but second place is definitely nothing to shake at, man. So I think this is going to be a good stepping stone. Good to have you here in the league and see you move forward, man. Anybody you want to give a shout out to or thank to for making this possible for you tonight?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for making it possible because, running a league's a lot of work. I've done it, and one not even this big, and it's a it's a lot of work. So I appreciate you and all the other guys that helped put this together. Thank you for broadcasting. Obviously, got a shout out to all the RPM guys over here. Nathan Sedlak, Ross Cato, Roger Wagner had some tough luck early. Joe Roberts wanted to be here. Brandner and Mike Vining. Gosh, I'm missing somebody, but and Kevin Spalding too. So all these RPM guys, we're new here. We're trying to keep our nose clean, but you're going to hear a lot from us this season.
Yeah, you guys are doing a good job. We're glad to have you here, and go celebrate your second place, man, and enjoy it. And just know you got a good cushion, man, going into the season. Definitely got a lot of stuff ahead, man. So we'll see you next week at Atlanta, buddy.
All right, see you tomorrow on track too, Paul.
That's right. That's right. The 500, man. This has got to be a good sign for tomorrow, man. So you think you learned anything for tomorrow night?
No, it's plate racing. I mean, to a degree, I learned about more or less most of what you can learn at these places a long time ago. So it just is, and a lot of it's outside of your control. So
Yeah.
all I can say is tomorrow, I hope that if I get wrecked, it happens in the first 50, not the last 50.
That's exactly what I said last night's broadcast. I said, I hope I get wrecked out early if it's going to happen. I'd hate to get to, lap 170, lap 180 and get wrecked out then, man. But, it's like I said before, man, it's some skill, but a lot of luck. So, we'll see what happens, man. But we'll look forward to see you out there, and I'll be out with you, man, rubbing doors.
Well, I hope not. I'd rather we leave a little room between us, but go ahead. Whatever
right.
you got to do.
I know, man. All right, go celebrate, man. We'll talk to you later on.
Thank you.
All
All right. I'm down here in Gatorade Victory Lane with tonight's VT Fantasy Racing League. Your VTFantasyRacing.com 300 champion Nathan Sedlak. And Nathan, congratulations on picking up your first career SoMo win in the Xfinity Series. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Really appreciate it. That's pretty exciting stuff. Enjoyed myself out there. That was a good win for sure.
We were talking right before that. I think it was the next caution, and you were up there pushing, helping, but you were down one lap after the green flag pit stops, and the timing and scoring finally got straightened out. And we're like, Nathan's up there battling for the lucky dog position, and then the caution came out with the big wreck down in turn 3. What was going through your mind at that point?
Oh, man, I just scooted through that wreck. I was able to push somebody there to the lead, and I think he turned down a little early, and I just got through that. Got about 12 seconds of damage, pitted, repaired it, came back out, and we were 7th. So it worked out. I was a little scared. We tried to go to the back early on and got a little too far behind, and then the timing scoring got all messed up, and I just thought we were doomed. From that point, I hate early in the race, I was a teammate there, Roger Wagner. I think we had some net code issue or something, and I sent him in the outside wall, so I'll say sorry for that. I feel pretty bad about that because that was pretty early on, but somehow, some way, got back up there, and then I was able to work with Galen a whole bunch, and I don't know, it's pretty fun there with the B car. Being able to go up top and do all that stuff around the top is pretty fun. It's unfortunate in the A car. I didn't make the A race. I'm not going to be able to be here, so good to get a win in the B, and wasn't going to run it full time, but you start the season off with a win, you might as well put your cards down on something. So let's see what happens.
This is to say, you start off the season, you leave Daytona after being down here for 2 weeks for Speed Weeks as the championship leader. Next week we head to Atlanta. And how's the team up at Atlanta? What's your expectations for next week?
Yeah, expectations still going to be pretty high. Had a good run going in trucks last night also, and then tonight got the win. So going to Atlanta, I always enjoy it there. I've never really done a whole lot of fixed racing at Atlanta, so we'll see what happens, and we'll see how it goes, see how that set feels and things. It always gets interesting with the weather and things like that, so we'll see.
Well, before I let you go to finish celebrating, and I have a feeling you guys will be up pretty late here tonight at the Daytona International Speedway. Who makes it all possible? Who you got to thank?
Well, you guys, of course, up there in the booth, everybody at SoMo and all the work they're doing. This is quite a couple of turnouts, and these are, some pretty big fields. Good racing tonight, green flag, pit stops, things like that. So all the guys at SoMo, all the drivers, everybody at RPM, Roger got us over here, and Paul, has worked us in with everybody. So it's a real pleasure to be over. Excited to be here. But everybody at RPM, everybody had a pretty good run going. But maybe some bad luck here and there. But overall, pretty good. Appreciate it.
All right, there's your season opener winner, Nathan Sedlak, as he will go on. Will go on and celebrate here tonight, all, and he did have a good showing here tonight, as he was able to come back from a lot of adversity tonight, and it seemed like to be the number one thing for all the top three drivers. Really, was that they were at one point not having the best of nights.
Yeah, like I said, man, anything can happen. You can't count anybody out in this kind of a race. I mean, every way you look, you can be in the front to the back to the front. It's just you got to have that attitude, man. You got to come in and not give up, and that's what these guys did. They didn't give up. They kept it going, and you see him doing his burnout down here, man. Just great way to finish it, man. Great way to finish it. These guys are off to a good start, and I really can't wait to see what happens in Atlanta.
We'll take a look at the unofficial VTFantasyRacing.com 300 finishing results now, and it was Nathan Sedlak, we just heard from him, picking up his first career Lazy Day Xfinity Series win, and going to be headed to Atlanta as your point season leader over Gal Gidman, who finished second, followed by Chris Grosso, Timothy Lewis, and Ross Cadeau, who had an up-and-down night, comes back to finish inside the top five. Adam Baker holds on for a strong sixth-place finish, followed by Billy Howard, Chris Samard, Keith Mayato, and Jim Locking, rounding out your top 10.
11th place, you got John Estes, who was pretty quiet all night, managed to get his way into a good top 20, secures himself a spot for next week. Bobby Lassiter will take it home 12th. Michael Palmer will take it home in 13th. Dean Viney, who had a real good run, showed some muscle up there in the front. Unfortunate damages, but gets a 14th place finish. Will definitely move him in. Paul Cohen will take 15th. Ryan Gemmell will take 16th. Keith Haney, your last season's champion, reigning champion in the Xfinity Series, 17th place finish, so he'll definitely be around next week for Atlanta. Tony Gray, 18th. Joey Mitchell, who had a late charge and got caught up in that one, he'll take 19th, and Charles Silver will take 20th.
Finishing 21st will be the 49 of Jeff Sharp, Seth Hatchell, in spot number 22. Sean Dower, front runner early, but got caught up in trouble. He salvages a 23rd place finish, followed by Sean Lejeune and Len McNeese rounding out the top 25. 26 will go to Shane Billings in car number 76. 27th will be Devin Sanders. Stephen Pearson's 28th. Aaron Riley, 29th. And Justin McDuff rounding out the 30th position.
31st will be David Howard Jr., who had some troubles early on, but should be all right. Daniel Haney will take 32nd. A.J. Hamill will take 33rd. 34th, James Haney. 35th, Mr. Travis Wall. 36th, Roger Wagner. 37th, Jeff Glockner. 38th, Lupe Gonzalez. And 39th, Randy McCanney, who unfortunately got caught up in that first one, and him and Lupe and Jeff just, got out a little bit early. But you know what? It's Daytona. Get back here next week, qualify your way in, and get on Atlanta.
That's right. Speaking of Atlanta, it's the Butler Furniture 135 from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. And, Paul, I'm really excited for that one. Atlanta's going to be, they always call it Hot Atlanta. It's going to be some hot action there. The groove really moves around from top to bottom. There's multiple lines. The tires give up. It's all about conservation, and it really, driver comes into a factor more than it really does here at Daytona, as these teams are loaded up and looking to head up north to Atlanta. It should be a good race next week.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, man. I got tomorrow night in the 500. I'm really excited about getting on there, but I can't wait to get out of Daytona and onto, driver tracks where, you're in more control of your destiny than luck. So, it should be really interesting next week. All three series will be at Atlanta, and, we'll see how it shakes out. This is where it starts, man. Daytona, but the real racing starts at Atlanta because that's where you got to start driving your way in. And these guys get the win. They got the potential to be in the chase on the win, and you're in. So I'm glad to see the first two nights come off really good. Hopefully tomorrow night we can have a repeat performance on Max Speed TV at 8:40 tomorrow night here in the Lazy Days Racing Cup Series. So if you're around, tune in and come check it out. 200 laps in the Cup cars, man. It's going to be definitely a lot of excitement, a lot of tired drivers at the end of the night.
Yeah, you better take it easy tomorrow and get some rest up. That'll be not mentally draining, but also physically. 200 laps around here in the Cup cars, they like to move around. Good luck tomorrow, Paul, and good luck to all of our competitors racing tomorrow. And it was been a pleasure here tonight, and I can't wait to get up to Atlanta for next week's race.
I appreciate it, man. We'll take that luck, and thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.